What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Go with the deuces. There you go, baby.
Hey, good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to the Cage Side with Christopher James. I am Christopher James. Happy to have you on board. As always, when I start the show, give me just a couple of minutes here so I can share this out to a bunch of groups and spread the word. Feel free to share it in groups that you watch the show in and that you participate in. It's always greatly appreciated. So while I'm doing this, let's see, what should we talk about? Well, first of all, the news that popped out today. Actually, before we even get to the news that popped out today, the other day, President Donald Trump was shot in an assassination attempt, a failed assassination attempt. It was quite shocking. I was really just upset about it. I don't know all the details, as does nobody. I do know that it was a single shooter. You know, some people are saying that, you know, this person is an agent of the government, you know, from the left. I don't know about all that. I don't know if it was just some kid. I put up a post about it that it could just be some kid that just snapped, you know, after being over inundated with the narrative from the left. So it's so hard to wrap your head around. This hasn't happened since 1981 when somebody attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan. But, you know, Donald Trump is okay. So that's a good thing. There's just so much I want to say, but I don't want to get too political. This isn't a politics show. But it does bother me. I just want to just kind of, you know, touch on it. I know there's people out there, and if you're one of those people that, you know, were joking about, too bad they missed, you know, well, I just got to say, fuck you. You're a horrible human being. It doesn't matter what side of the political fence you sit on. You should not wish somebody died. You know, I am not a fan of Joe Biden. I'll say that publicly. I've stated it 1,000 times publicly. But if somebody took a shot at him, I would be pissed off. I'd be upset, you know, regardless of the fact that I don't like the guy. He is our president of the United States. So, you know, if you're, like I said, if you're one of those people that just decided that, you know, oh, damn, I wish they shot him, you know, well, you know, fuck you. You're an asshole and you're a scumbag. And if you're following me on Facebook, you can leave now, because I don't care. There's just some things that have to separate our political beliefs. And being human is one of those things. So be a human being about it, you know, in spite of what you think about him politically or personally. You know, he's still somebody's husband, somebody's father, somebody's grandfather. You know what I mean? You don't have to like the guy. Nobody's telling you to like the guy. I don't care if you like him. But yeah. And, you know, I've seen so many like horrible memes and everything else about, but that's all I really want to go into it. I'm just glad that he's all right. There was a rumor going around, and I shared it because I saw it on a couple of websites that he was going to show up at UFC Denver this past weekend. He did not. And Dana White confirmed today on the Pat McAfee show, the rumor about it, and said that there was no plan for Trump to be in Denver. And I believe that, because if Trump were scheduled to show up in Denver that day, Dana White certainly would not have been in Italy after that evening, which is, he was on a flight when that happened on Saturday, heading to Italy. I don't know if it's for business or personal, but whatever. He was on his way to Italy when this happened. So just wanted to touch on that. You know, prayers for the former president. Hope he heals up all right. Him standing up and pumping his fist. What a powerful moment. That image is going to last in American history forever. And that's it. We're done with the political stuff. So also in the news today, Nate Diaz has come out and said that he is suing Fanmio. Fanmio is the pay-per-view company, streaming company that hosted the Gamebred Bare-Knuckle or Gamebred versus Diaz fight in Anaheim, California last week, or was it 10 days ago? I don't even know how long ago it was now. But they hosted the event. Apparently, Nate Diaz was promised $9 million. He said that let me pull this up right here. I just want to make sure I quote it correctly. Nate Diaz said he was promised $10 million for his fight with Masvidal, claims he never got 90% of the cash, and now he's suing to get the money he says he rightfully deserves. His attorney filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in Miami on Monday, 2 weeks, after the event took place. Excuse me. He said before he ever stepped in the ring with Gamebred, he made a deal with promoter Solomon Engel and his company Fanmio, in which he agreed to take the bout in exchange for a $9 million payday. But Diaz says after he beat Masvidal, that Engel refused to pay up, and Engel said he couldn't supply the funds because the event didn't profit off the fight like Engel expected it to. Now, what I do know is the event was sold out. What I don't know is what kind of numbers it did on pay-per-view. Fanmio, I don't know anything about Fanmio. I don't know how long it's been around. I don't know what their resources are, how much financial backing they have. If they were just, trying to host this event and hoping that they brought in enough money to pay everybody. So I have to do a little more research. I've been a little busy today, but I have to do a little more research to dig into Fanmio and find out exactly what their financial position is. Because if they were banking on pay-per-view sales to pay Diaz, that was a bad bet. Let's just be honest. That was a bad bet. You can't go into this thing not having the money secured. What should have happened, in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, but, and also, before I even get into that opinion, what about Masvidal? So Diaz was supposed to get $10 million. How much was Masvidal supposed to get? Why isn't he suing Fanmio? And maybe he is, we just haven't heard about it yet. But those funds that these fighters are supposed to be paid, they should have readily available up front. Put them in an escrow account so the fighter knows that their payday is there. And once the event is complete, you release the funds from escrow. It's a real simple concept. The only way that doesn't work is if you don't have the funds in the first place. So, let's just say, just for shits and giggles, let me get my calculator out here. 100.0 times 18,000 equals 1.8 million if every ticket in the building cost $100. That would be the money that they generated from the attendance in the arena. And again, that's an estimate because I know some tickets went for more. I don't know if anything went for less. So let's just say for conversation, they generated $3 million in revenue in ticket sales, or $4 million in revenue in ticket sales. That's certainly not going to pay out a $9 million payday. It's just not. Or a $10 million payday, according to Diaz. And again, we don't even know what Masvidal was supposed to get paid on the back end. So, let's see. So, that was the end of that, I guess. I mean, what else can we say about that? Except that we'll just have to sit and wait and see what happens. I don't know if Fanmio is going to be able to withstand the lawsuit, because if they already said they don't have the money to pay Diaz, then they probably don't have the money to go to court and hire lawyers to defend them. And then again, the factor that we don't hear about is Masvidal, because if Diaz is making $10 million allegedly, he says he's got a contract. So let's just say he's telling the truth and he's got the contract that says $10 million. Masvidal didn't just fight for the $300,000 or $350,000 disclosed purse by the state of California. Diaz's disclosed purse was $500,000. Masvidal's was $300,000 or $350,000, or something like that. So it's a crazy situation. We just have to wait and see again. How is this all going to play out in a courtroom setting? Is FanMio going to be able to pay? Which, if they couldn't pay today, taking them to court isn't going to force them to pay anything because they don't have the revenue. They don't have the funds. I mean, it sounds pretty cut and dry, and where are they going to generate the revenue if they didn't generate enough from pay-per-view sales? So, and let's see. The pay-per-view, I think, was like $50, if I remember correctly. Maybe one of you guys bought the pay-per-view. You could tell me. I don't remember what I paid for it. So $50 times 100,000, it's only $5 million. So that's definitely not enough. That's if they did 100,000 pay-per-views. And again, we have no idea what the pay-per-view number was. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, let's see. We got some questions here. And by the way, guys, in a few minutes, about 7 minutes from now, 8 minutes from now, we're going to have UFC heavyweight title contender Curtis Blaydes joining us to start the show. He's going to be joining us live from Denver, Colorado, before he heads out to England to go win that belt. We also have bare-knuckle fighter, former 165-pound champion Elvin Brito, El Bandito. He's going to be joining us on the show. And Killer B, Brandon Michael Davis from Gamebred Bare-Knuckle MMA is going to be joining us on the show as well. He's a well-traveled UFC veteran. He's done it all, and he's going to be here talking about his new contract and all the things that come along with it. First question popping up. What did I think of Correa versus Cushing? I felt that was a really good performance by Devin Cushing. His jab is just money. His jab is just money. He really has honed the skill of the most important punch in boxing or even in striking in MMA, the jab. The jab sets everything else up. Correa, I think, landed in one jab according to the CompuBox numbers that I looked at. Devin went out there and it was a very workmanlike performance. It never looked like he was looking for the knockout. I did have him on my show last week. He said, he thought about it a few times, but it just never presented itself. And Devin is a very smart young fighter. He's 14-0. He handled the whole situation, the biggest fight of his career, the biggest crowd of his career, fighting on that undercard with so many other well-known people. And he handled it like a seasoned pro, like, he had been there 1,000 times before. His performance was excellent. This is only going to catapult him into the stratosphere, in my opinion. This is the beginning of really seeing what he's all about. I've watched Devin Cushing come up since 2016, so we're talking 8 years. He's only gotten better every time I've seen him, and I believe in this kid. I really think he has the potential to be a world beater, a world champion, and take on some of the best in the world. So as he continues to build and elevate his career, you can expect to see more growth, more evolution in his boxing game. So that's my thoughts on Devin Cushing and Correa. They fought as amateurs. Correa got the win back then. Devin was 17. Devin said before the fight, I'm not a 17-year-old kid anymore, and he showed it. Hats off to Devin. We got Jake Paul and Mike Perry coming up this weekend here in Tampa. I'm going to try to make it to the show. What are my views on Mike Perry versus Jake Paul this week? And also, what upcoming UFC card are you looking forward to the most? 304, 305, 306. As far as Mike Perry and Jake Paul, it takes place here in my town of Tampa. Like I said, I'm trying to finagle my way into ticket. Maybe Dave Van Auken, if you're watching, maybe give me some credentials for this MVP show. If you can finagle that, that would be awesome. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it's too late. I don't know if you have the right people to talk to. Maybe Dean. And I can go cover the event for Fight Bananas. That would be awesome. I think Mike Perry's going to win 6-round TKO. I just think he's going to go out there for a few rounds and feel it out, work his way through Jake Paul. I mean, Jake Paul is a big guy. Jake Paul is bigger than Mike. And as much as Mike likes to come forward and really put the pressure on his opponents, as we've seen, especially since he's transitioned into the world of bare knuckle fighting, where he's been unstoppable, he is an incredible athlete. But he's smart. He's not stupid. You know, a lot of people, they go just running forward is a dumb thing. But Mike is calculated in how he does it. And I think Mike is going to go out there and really put on a show for about 4 or 5 rounds. And then he's really going to turn it up in round 6 and finish Jake Paul, send him packing, and basically end the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson thing that's supposed to take place in November, which is a fight I'm not a fan of. 60-year-old man, almost 60-year-old man going in there and fighting against a 27, 30-year-old kid. Fucking stupid. Just my opinion on that. So as far as the UFC events coming up, 304, 305, 306. Which card am I looking forward to the most? The next one, 304. I don't get ahead of myself on these cards. You know, they did announce some stuff for 306 today at the Sphere. It's going to have 10 fights on it. 6 fights have already been announced. So we don't know who the main, the co-main are yet. Dana White announced that today on the Pat McAfee show. 10 fights. He said he's already invested over $17 million. But that investment isn't really from the UFC. That's from Riyadh season, the guys in Saudi Arabia. That's why it's Riyadh season present Noche, which is UFC 306. Still, it's just funny to me that Riyadh season is gonna present a Mexican-based event, you know, because it's supposed to be a Mexican Independence Day event that pays tribute to the heritage of Mexican fighters in the history of time. You know, I really just don't know what they have coming up. So let me just shoot a message here real quick. Ready when you are. Just message Curtis because it's 7:14 and we're supposed to see him at 7:15. So I just messaged him and said, ready when you are. Hopefully he'll remember to come on. I get that once in a while fighters get caught up in training and they forget their times. But he did, you know, when I messaged him today, he confirmed he's coming. So we'll see. But while we're waiting, if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot them at me. And we'll definitely try to answer every question you guys have. Except for any more Donald Trump stuff. We're not going to talk about that anymore today, any more politics. I don't really like talking about on this platform. This is for fighting and combat sports, and that's what we are here to discuss. So, let's see. Nope, that ain't working. All right. Yeah, just, you know, for shits and giggles, a few minutes ago, the guy had to come and fix my garbage disposal. My garbage disposal broke. I thought it was going to be sitting here blowing vacuums and all kinds of stuff, you know, sucking out the dirt. Apparently, you can't put coffee grounds down a garbage disposal. Who knew? But he told us it's like just dumping dirt down the disposal. Kind of odd because we've been doing it for years and we never had a problem with it. And today we had a problem. Lemos or Jandaroba? You know, that's a good question, Forrest. Lemos. I'm going to take Lemos to win this one. I think she's a little more well-rounded. Jandaroba is no joke inside the octagon. I just like the style and the way that Lemos presents herself inside the octagon. So I think she's going to be our winner on that fight. Let me pull up some fight cards here while we're waiting. I guess we can do this. Hold on. Junkie. All right, menu, schedule. Let's see what we got here. So Lemos versus Jandaroba this weekend. Jun Young Park and Brad Tavares. I'm going to take Park to win that one. Singwoo Choi versus Steve Garcia. I'm going to go with Garcia. Kurt Hollabaugh versus Kanan Kruczewski. This is going to be a tough fight for Kurt. I'm going to side with Kurt. Kurt's a friend of the show. He's a friend of mine. I'm going to ride with my heart on this one and go with Kurt. Bill Elgeo and Doohoo Choi. I'm going to take Choi in this one. Cody Durden and Bruno Silva. Cody Durden's coming home with the big win. Haider Emil and Zhang Yang Lee. These are two tough. This is a tough fight right here. Emil is 9-0 and Lee is 10-1. Very evenly matched fight. I'm going to take Lee on this one. Just off my gut. Cody Gibson versus Brian Boom Kelleher. I'm taking Brian Boom Kelleher. It's been a while since we've seen him drop somebody, and I feel he's due. Dion Barbosa versus Miranda Maverick. I'm going with the Maverick. Trey Ogden versus Loic Rajabov. I'm going to take Rajabov in this one. Luana Carolina versus Lucy Pudilova. Don't know who I'm taking that one. Thomas Peterson versus Muhammad Usman. Heavyweights, they're opening the card. So I would go with flip a coin. I don't have a coin. I'm going to take Peterson to upset the brother of Usman. That's just me. So, where did that go? After that, let's go back here. The following week is UFC 304, Edwards versus Muhammad. So we'll run through this one real quick. I'm going to take Bilal Muhammad in the upset. He's 23-3. Edwards is 22-3. I don't want to take anything away from Edwards. He's the champion. He's done what he's supposed to do to become a champion. But Bilal Muhammad is so hungry for this belt, and he's been waiting so long for an opportunity. And I think he's just going to stifle the striking of Edwards at any possible chance he gets to. It's going to be, I don't expect it to be an exciting fight, but it's going to be a good fight. You're going to see a lot of groundwork from Bilal. I believe he's not going to stay on his feet, the entire time of the fight because that's not his game. He can strike, but Edwards is definitely the better striker. But Muhammad is obviously the better grappler and wrestler. So Muhammad is going to get control of this fight. I think he's going to take Edwards out and become the new UFC welterweight champion. Then we have Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes. They fought once before. Aspinall got injured. Curtis Blaydes got the win. I felt that Curtis was winning that fight anyway. It just looked to me like he was more in control of that fight, for the limited amount of action that we did see. I'm a huge Curtis Blaydes fan. And I'm going to take Curtis Blaydes to come out of that fight with the interim championship. Hopefully he'll be on here in a few minutes and we'll talk to him about it. And when it comes to Curtis Blaydes, everybody, like, I think people sleep on his ability to strike, and he's got a crap ton of finishes by TKO or knockout. He's a big, powerful human being, and he can wrestle like nobody's business. I think he's the most dangerous wrestler right now in the UFC, hands down. And when I say that, I say that even with John Jones, with his wrestling background, I still think Curtis, as a heavyweight, is the best heavyweight wrestler in the UFC. I know John Jones is a champion. He fought Cyril Gane. He won the belt real quick, blah, 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 blah. But he wasn't tested against a grappler, a wrestler. He was tested against a striker who folded under the pressure. So we don't really know what John Jones will bring to the octagon when he faces a top-notch wrestler like a Curtis Blaydes, who's a huge human being. Curtis has to cut to make 265. Jones doesn't have to cut to make 265. Curtis does. Curtis is a big man. He's very hard to move. So I just think Curtis Blaydes has this all day against Aspinall. I don't think the winner of this is going to get John Jones. They're talking about John Jones and Stipe still in November. Also with John Jones, they announced today that he's facing 2 misdemeanor charges for that incident with the drug testers a few months back, where he got into a fight with them and argued and yelled and all the other crap. So he could be facing some jail time. I don't think he's going to go to jail. His lawyers are way too versed and too smart to let that happen. So he'll probably pay a fine, if anything, and then he'll move on and hopefully fight and defend that belt in November in Madison Square Garden against Stipe Miocic, a fight which I'm not excited about. You know, a lot of people are. I'm not. Stipe's been gone too long. I just think it's ridiculous that he's even getting this fight after being on the shelf for so long. So, you know, what do you do? Then you got Bobby Green and Paddy Pimblett. King Green now. His official name is King Green. He's no longer just Bobby Green. So, we had the King versus Paddy. This is Paddy's last fight on his contract, by the way, from my understanding. And I'm going to take King Green to win this fight. I just think King Green is he's a hard puzzle to solve. Paddy Pimblett, as good as he is, I just don't think he's going to be able to handle the uniqueness of facing King Green. Just my opinion, doesn't mean anything. You know, don't use my picks to make your bets, because you know I don't want you to come back to me going, oh, I listened to you and I got the pick wrong, I lost money. Well, you shouldn't have been gambling in the first fucking place, and then you wouldn't have lost money. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I don't gamble. So then we got Manel Kape. Hopefully he's actually going to make it to the octagon. You know, he's had a few issues getting there on his own, versus Muhammad Mokaev. I'm going to take Mokaev to keep his undefeated streak alive. He's 11-0. So we're going to see that. Arnold Allen and Giga Chikadze. I'm a huge fan of both these guys, but there's something special about Giga that I really enjoy. And I think he's going to come out there and put on a show with Arnold Allen. I think he's going to win it by decision. I don't think this fight is going to be finished by either man. So then we've got Danielle Pineda versus Nathaniel Wood, Bruna Brasil versus Molly McCann. Don't know in that fight. You know, obviously, I think McCann is the A side in that fight. But, you know, I don't think she's as great as people give her the credit for being. I feel like she has had some good moments. But this girl, Brasil, should be able to get. Actually, you know, I think that's the fight. Oh, no, down here. Okay. There was a fight that got switched, and I don't remember who was supposed to be in it. Kaylin Loughran versus Ramon Tavares. I don't know enough about Loughran to make a pick on this one. Same thing with Mick Parker and Lucas Bresky. I don't know enough about that one. My boy Oben Elliott and Preston Parsons. I'm going to take Preston Parsons to win this one. I've got roots with this kid. I love him. And I think it's time for him to really step up and show the fans in the UFC what he's got going on. Gregory Rodriguez versus Christian Duncan. Don't know enough about Duncan. Kiefer Crosby and Sam Patterson. Don't know enough about either of those men. This is the one. Shauna Bannon and Alice Ardeline. Ardeline just got signed to this fight. She's 9-5. She just got signed to the UFC. She's best known for her social media. She's got 300 million followers or 3 million followers on TikTok or one of those platforms, or OnlyFans. She's more known for her racy content and, you know, her meme stuff than for her fighting career. I mean, you know, the girl can fight. She's got 9 professional wins. But I'm a little miffed that the UFC signed a girl that's 9-5. I think she was going to get a shot in the Contender Series. I'm not even sure. But I just 9-5, and you're putting her on a pay-per-view card. It just doesn't sit well in my stomach. That's just me. Modestas Bukauskas is on this card versus Marcin Perchnio, excuse me. And I'm going to take Bukauskas to win this one. So those are my picks for there. Hi, it's Tampa Bay. Let me see something here. Hi, Monica. I was doing some stuff there. So let's see. John Jones has the 5-star IQ in the game versus Curtis. Heavy wrestling, some striking. Okay, interesting. Monica. Evening. Yeah. I like Patty here. Patty is hungry for a finish after the Tony Ferguson fight. I don't think so. Scott Farley's on here. What's up, Scott? Monica Britton isn't on. Why are you watching? Yeah, Monica is Britton's mama. And why are you watching, Monica? Britton Hart, of course, is the 115-pound champion at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. She'll be fighting in August against Taylor Starling for the strap at Sturgis, which is going to be a crazy event. I once blocked a friend for talking shit about Curtis Blaydes and the way he talks at times. Some people make me sick. It's Tampa Bay, Santa. I don't even know what that means. You had me at titties. Did I say titties? I don't think I said titties. John Jones does have a high fight IQ versus actual IQ. That's funny. Elvin Brito. Oh, you're here to see about Elvin Brito. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. We appreciate you tuning in for that. I'm still waiting for Curtis Blaydes. Haven't heard back from him. Chances are he's got busy or something happened. So let's see. Oh, as far as that's a good thing. What are we smoking? I don't even know what the hell this is. I got it from my guy. Didn't ask him about, but it's good. So everybody out there, light up. Woo! Hey, Scott, if you're still watching, message Elvin, see if he wants to come on now, and I'll just bring him in now. And then if Curtis comes on, I'll move Curtis around a little bit. So that we're going to try to bring in Elvin Brito now while we wait for Curtis Blaydes. I was very specific that it's 7:15 Eastern, 5:15 Mountain Time so he knows. And Curtis has never, ever missed an interview with me before. And he's done, I know I've interviewed him like somewhere between 5 and 10 times on my show over the years. So he's always on time. So something, either he got lost in the training today or, he just forgot. Though he, like I said, I'm looking at messages back and forth between them. And they're all there. I don't know if you guys could see them, but they're all there. It's kind of weird to show that stuff on the phone, but we're all there. So we're just going to wait. Hopefully he'll show up and we'll just bring him in after. Also, I'm a little pissed off at my New York Yankees. Blew the game in the 9th inning last night. Or yesterday afternoon, should I say. They were losing 3-2, heading into the top of the 9th. They got 2 guys on base. Ben Rice, a rookie, came up, hit a 3-run shot, put him back in the lead, 5-3. And then they blew it in the 9th inning. Both closers for the Orioles and the Yankees shit the bed yesterday. I don't know if you guys are baseball fans, but both closers really shit the bed. I was very upset. I'm a huge Yankees fan. I have been my whole life. All right. Well, yeah, Scott, that's why I said bring him on. Tell him to click on. He's got the link, and I'll bring him right in. We can shift gears around here. We know how to do that shit. Don't talk to me about baseball. Let me put that up here. Don't talk to me about baseball. Seattle Mariners are sucking chodes. Lost 3 out of 4 against the Angels, who are playing for nothing at this point, and the Astros are on their way back. Yeah, I thought the Yankees season was incredible when it started out. They, opened up the season against their rivals in Houston, who have always had their number over the last few years. Went out there and swept Houston. They were on a good run, and then June came, and they just shit the bed. Their pitching is falling apart. There's some, unhappy people, I guess, in the Yankees locker room. Some of the pitchers are talking, getting pissed because position players are, making mistakes. And listen, for you guys that don't follow baseball is a game of mistakes. They happen all the time. If it was easy to play baseball, everybody would do it. Just like if it was easy to be a professional fighter, everybody would be doing it because, especially in fighting. I mean, who wouldn't want to go out there and beat the crap out of people without any legal repercussions to get paid? He's on the way home to get on. Well, hopefully we'll get him on here in a few minutes. Hopefully we'll get one of my guests on today. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a little early for Elvin. We're asking him to come on early, so hopefully he'll be home in a couple of minutes. So I apologize for Curtis Blaydes not being here and telling you guys he was coming on. I had him all set up. I feel horrible because I really wanted to talk to him, but we shall see. I messaged him again, so hopefully he'll pop back in here, and we'll get that thing rolling. And if I have to stay on a little later tonight to get all my interviews in, I absolutely will. So, what did you guys think of the fight card over the weekend? Let me pull that up. Oh, wrong thing. Damn it. I hate when I do that. Fight metric. Boom, boom, boom. So the last event was Namajunas versus Cortez. There was a couple of really cool moments on this card. Elvin Elder had an incredible submission with the arm triangle. Round 2, I really enjoyed that fight. Josh Fremd lost to Andre Petrosky, unanimous decision. That was the right decision. Luana Santos gets the win with the rear naked choke. I really enjoyed that. And that was a first round finish. I love those. Montel Jackson, he ended up with a performance bonus, knocked out Damon Blackshear. That fight, I don't remember how long it lasted. It wasn't long. He came out on fire. Jasmine Jazudeficius, I always get her name fucked up. Fatima Klein came in on short notice. And Jasmine won a fight she absolutely was supposed to win. Charles Johnson with the big KO win in round 3 against Josh Van. Johnson wants a number next to his name, and he looked really good. His haircut always makes me laugh. Got no hair up here, got the in the back. This one right here kind of got under my skin. Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Cody Brundage. Let me take a breath before I talk on this. Al Hassan came out on fire. He's always been a fast starter. He came out looking to finish the fight from jump. He got all over Cody Brundage and was just eating him up. And Brundage was turtled, kind of, taking punches. A couple did land on the back of the head of Brundage. But I'm one of the first people to say that, a ref screws up when they screw up. I'm also one of the ones to say that, their job is super hard. Watching that fight, and seeing the action taking place, it's hard for a referee to accurately call an intentional foul for elbows to the back of a head when the two opponents are in motion, because I'm throwing this elbow right now, right? And I'm looking at the side of your head. You turn your head to to your right like this, or to your left like this, and now my elbow hit you in the back of the head. I was not intentional. I was looking for the side of your face. You moved into my elbow at that point. So it's really hard, in my opinion, one of the hardest fouls to actually call. Eye pokes are easy, nut shots are easy, but because there's so much motion going on, and L. Dawson, who does Fight Bananas with us every Tuesday and every Sunday, she had I can't remember the term she used the other day, but I absolutely loved it, describing the motion. I felt that hold on a second. Where'd I go? Oh, I felt that Brundage was looking for a way out. I think he could have continued in the fight. They called it a no contest, because it was such a short performance. I think Brundage was looking for a way out. That's just my take on it. I don't think he wanted to stay in that fight after feeling what Al Hassan was bringing to him. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, I have no problem with the no contest in that issue. I mean, could have even been a DQ, but again, how did you DQ a guy and call an intentional foul in that position? It's such a hard thing for a referee to do, and I felt that Big Dan handled this one right by calling it the no contest. Julian Erosa gets the submission via guillotine. That was awesome. Gabriel Bonfim looked really good against Lusa, and I liked the way he won. It was a unanimous decision. John Silva. What about John Silva against Drew Dober? They won fight of the night. What an incredible fight. He gets the KO or TKO, if you will, because of the cut. Now, I took Dober to win this fight, but this is 2 fights and 2 wins in 14 days for Silva. He looks incredible at 45 and at 55 because, his last fight previous to this was a 45er fight. So I think he's somebody that everybody in both those divisions needs to look out for because he's proven he can go out there and win fights. Tough guy. I mean, he took some big shots from Dober and he just kept coming forward. So Dober, always a fun fight to watch whenever Dober's on one side of the octagon. I wish it would have been Dober and Michael Davis, but Michael Davis got injured and had to have surgery, so that fight got canceled. I'm hoping that someday we get to see Mike Davis at his full potential because I've watched this kid from I don't even know how long now, and I promise you guys, if we can get him healthy and get him to the octagon and get him rolling, you guys are going to be blown away at what you've seen, and I'm sure some of you have already seen just the potential of what he can do. But when he's fully healthy and fully ready to go, he's unstoppable. So keep your eye out for him. Muslim Sokolov and Santiago Ponzinibbio, split decision. Sokolov got the win. I don't have a problem with it. Sokolov outstruck him in 2 of the 3 rounds. This was a standing fight. There was a little bit of groundwork in there, but this fight mainly was contested on the feet. Sokolov did enough. Case closed. Rose Namajunas, Tracy Cortez. The battle of the eyelashes. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Tracy's eyelash. Fuck was up with that. And that PFL clip I tagged you in where this dude was just like, I don't want to be your boss, and got head kicked. Hey, protect yourself at all times, dude. Fucking that's what happened. And, he should have really made it clear they didn't want to be in the fight anymore. But what the fuck was up with fake eyelashes inside the octagon? You can't even wear contacts inside the octagon because they're a detriment to your eyesight. As far as popping, sliding, boom, boom, you lose one, you're off balance. It's a bad mess. Same thing can happen with those damn stick-on eyelashes, and that's what it was, a stick-on eyelash. All right, listen, I understand that this is an entertainment business as well as an actual combat sport, and I get it, okay? So, you put your hair in your braids. You got the little heart design, from the braids in the back. It looked great. But the fuck you doing with fake eyelashes? Let me say it again. What the fuck are you doing with fake eyelashes on? That could have, come off rather than just get popped off when you got knocked down. That thing could have fallen into your eye when, you took a punch to the face. It could go in your eye and scratch your cornea. Then where you at? Then you're really going to get fucked up. I can't believe the commission allowed it. Maybe they didn't notice it. Maybe it's something that has to be brought up to the commissions. I don't know. But and in that fight, Rose put on a great performance. I had her winning 4 rounds to 1 going away. And there was almost a part of me that scored it 5 rounds to 0 for Rose. But I felt that Cortez did some good work in the 5th and final round, and that's the round I gave her. Let's see. Scott Farley. Why do I have Larry Downs' hat? That is my hat. I've had that for a long time. I don't just have Larry Downs' hat. I also have the bad boy hat. Can't put on over the headphones, but I got the black hat too when I decide to go scorched earth. All right, let's see what do we got here in the comment section. Britain is being inducted into the Bare-Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame Saturday for being a modern era trailblazer and pioneer for female BK fighters. I know how you feel about the Hall of Fame, but Britain is truly worthy of this honor. Won't change 10 years from now. She's the most experienced female BK fighter on the planet. 12th fight coming up in Sturgis. Okay. I love Brit. And, my view on the Hall of Fame doesn't have anything to do with the athletes that get the call to go to the Hall of Fame. So let me start out by saying that. It's still just too soon, in my opinion. I know this is her 12th fight coming up. She's done a lot, but the Hall of Fame is an accolade that comes after your career is over. There's UFC fighters that have been in the UFC for a long time, and they haven't gotten the Hall of Fame after their career is over. Even though a lot of them should have, some of their fights, some of their moments, being a pioneer, being a trailblazer. We can go on and on and on about that. But I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything you said here. Yeah, and I'm not denying that Britain's worthy of eventually going into the Hall of Fame for being a pioneer trailblazer in this new modern era of bare knuckle. I just feel it's too soon. And the people that run that Hall of Fame are a bunch of ass clowns. They just are. If we're being completely honest about the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame, it's just not time yet. It's barely been back 6 years. So while there may be some Hall of Fame moments, coming up for some of these fighters that have accomplished cool things, like Luis Baboon Palomino, he was a 2-division champion, when his career is finally over. Sure, he's a lock for the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame. I have no problem with that. I felt that Lorenzo Hunt was a lock. But after his test results in California, you have to question everything in his career. And because his testosterone levels were so high, it was like supposed to, I think the accepted thing is 4-to-1 ratio or 1-to-4 ratio, and his was like 172. That's not just for one event, in my opinion. And I'm basing that just off the fact of the things I've seen over the years. So let's see. I'm not as bad. I don't know what you're talking about, Alex. Mistakes happen. Most refs do a great job. I can't necessarily say how badly we're talking about Brundage. I can't necessarily say how badly he was rocked. That being said, we've seen this a bunch where the fighter takes all the time, is upset with the no contest, and then acts like they want to fight after the fight is called off. You have 5 minutes or less to decide how you want to proceed. He was given the full 5 minutes. I think he was actually, when it all said and done, it was over 6 minutes. I'd have to go back and look at it. I have it on my DVR. I can go watch it because it was on ESPN broadcast. You had 5 minutes. Don't act like you wanted to fight after the fight was over. Don't go to the post-fight press conference and say you still wanted to fight, but you couldn't, because you could have. So I get what you're saying there. Let's see. Even though a first hasn't shown up yet, I'm enjoying listening to your chat. You have a plethora of knowledge of the sports of bare knuckle and MMA. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Brundage has done this before. Brundage didn't want the smoke. Well, and how can you call DQ 30 plus seconds in unless it's fucking blatant? Exactly. And you can't call those blatant because the heads were moving. He was throwing his elbows and, Brundage was moving his head into the elbows. Now, I'm not saying that the elbows shouldn't be recognized by the referee. They should. But to call them intentional is where, like, if Big Dan had called those intentional, fouls, I would have been pissed off. If any ref had called that an intentional foul, I would have been mad because they weren't intentional. So, Monica, ridiculous. I don't know what she's referring to, if my take on the Hall of Fame or the fight where the guy ducked out. Tracy is talented, but she is more worried about her looks, or are you in there against a former 2-time champ and want to win? I don't know, man. Maybe she was wearing the eyelashes to make up for the hair she had to cut off to make weight in the first place. Well, You think it's a little early for BKFC having a Hall of Fame quite yet as an organ? Well, first of all, it's not the Bare Knuckle Fighting. Let me be clear. The Hall of Fame is not run by the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. The Hall of Fame is from the Police Gazette Boxing Corporation, a quote-unquote sanctioning body. And they were affiliated with BKFC when BKFC first showed up 6 years ago. And then they had a bad breakup because BKFC didn't want this guy Mort. Was it Mort? No, Scott. Didn't want Scott in there inside the ring, putting medals on the guys, wearing these clown suits and these clown shoes, clown suits, clown shoes, just making it about him and his moment inside the ring. It had nothing to do with them. So they broke up. There was even an event, and BKFC paid for him to come to an event here in Florida. And this is all secondhand knowledge I got. So this is a rumor I'm going to share with you that I heard. But they flew the guy from the Police Gazette down to cover an event, right, to be here for the event. The same night of the BKFC event, there was a BYB event. So instead of showing up at the BKFC event that paid you to be there, paid your sanctioning fucking fee, apparently he went to the BYB event instead and sent a representative to the BKFC show. Listen, if I'm the promoter and I pay for you to be here, you better fucking be at my event. If you're not going to be at my event, fucking boom. And the legend has it that situation turned out when BKFC found out that he bailed on them to go to BYB. They had the hotel fucking clean his room out and tell him to basically, you're fucked. So, the BKFC does not have their own Hall of Fame because it's not time yet. I mean, the Police Gazette Boxing Corporation Hall of Fame, I mean, in year 1 or year 2 of BKFC, they put in Jeff Houston, a ring announcer into the BKFC Hall of Fame. For what? He was just doing his job. Nothing special. I'm a ring announcer when I say that. Like, I'm being inducted into the Florida Mixed Martial Arts Hall of Fame. But I've been doing this nearly 20 years in Florida. I've earned some accolades. I've won Ring Announcer of the Year a couple times, and now I'm getting inducted into a Hall of Fame. My career is not over. But I don't know how they decide what they do. I'm grateful that somebody wanted to honor me. So just like, the BKFC fighters that show up there or BYB fighters that get acknowledged in the Police Gazette Hall of Fame, and they take the accolade, good for them. I'm not shitting on anybody that accepts the award. But it's too early to be doing it, MMA's been around a long time. I've been in it a long time. Not the BKFC. Oh, just bare knuckles a whole and still. Chris is the I know a few things, and thank you. The Rain Man of MMA knowledge. I am not the Rain Man of MMA knowledge. There are so many people out there that know so much more than me, like from Fight Bananas, Elle Dawson. That girl blows my mind with what she knows about fighting and all the fighters. She's really incredible, and she knows how to break down a fight. She's a fighter herself. She's a little injured, so she's getting back on track. You can catch her tomorrow with Dave Van Auken and Maddie Levine on the Fight Bananas show at 1 p.m. here on Fight Bananas on our YouTube and our Facebook pages. You personally believe that 20 years from now, Britt will still be seen as a trailblazer for female BK fighters? Only time would tell. Yeah, I'm sure she will be. I mean, she's been out there. She's been killing it. She's taken some crazy fights, and she's, won some. She's lost a few, she's lost to Christine Ferreira, who is the most dominant force in women's bare knuckle. And I believe those are the only 2 fights she's lost in bare knuckle. If I can't remember, so I don't have that. See, I'm not the Rain Man, Alex. I don't remember every stat, but I know Britain's got 2 losses against Christina. I think those are her only 2 bare knuckle losses. Mama Monica, tell us, am I right or am I wrong? Yeah, that's shit. If I'm paying you and you show eat my ass. Never trust anyone named Mort or Scott. And if his name is Mort Scott, fuck off, sir. Oh, she lost to Beck. Okay. I think a lot of those early inductions were being the first in the modern era. Again, it's still not time to put them in. Well, Alex, watch the show tomorrow at 1 p.m. if you can, or go back and watch it later on YouTube or on our Fight Bananas Facebook page. And check out Elle Dawson. She also does a show Sunday mornings with Maddie Levine. It's the ladies. They call it Sunday Morning Brew, I believe. It's on Sundays at 10 a.m. on our Fight Bananas YouTube, so check them out. Both girls are incredible, and Elle is just sick. Like Elle, Laura Sanko is a plethora of knowledge. I know I love seeing her on the broadcast with the UFC. She knows so much stuff. She's really well versed in her game. Elle Dawson is the same. Like Elle Dawson could go out there and do Laura Sanko's job tomorrow if she wanted to. But she beat Zach. Yeah, she did beat Beck the second. I forgot about the first fight there, Monica. My apologies. Well, you're talking about after they waited because, you have to weigh in at 125, right? So I've never heard of Christine Faria missing weight. So she might have weighed more on fight night. But Britain wasn't built for 125. Britain was built for 115. So she was fighting up above where she should have been probably. So shit happens, right? What are you going to do? She went out there and took the fight. She took her shots. And hats off to her. I can't wait for her to fight in Sturgis. So now, all right, I just got a message from Elvin. He said, give him 10 more minutes. He had an emergency. By the time I get to Elvin, it's going to be time for my third and final guest. Holy crap. And the scores were close. I mean, it wasn't like a complete, it wasn't like when Faria fought Taylor Starling. These girls fought, Starling turned and ran away. And I hope Britt does the same thing to her. So the Sturgis crowd is going to be off their fucking rocker. I can't even wait to see what they do with this. Like at one of the BKFC shows recently, David Feldman was doing a backstage interview with my guy Cyrus Fees, and he was talking about he's going to get like cuts, the leather vest cuts, for all the BKFC crew and everything. And that'd be pretty fucking dope to see all the fighters walk out in, BKFC cuts, with the fucking BKFC logo on the back. I can't wait to see that event. Monica, are you going to Sturgis to watch your little girl fight? Are you going to be there? Absolutely. Yep. Lots of VIP. Yes, she's going to be there. Ooh, I wish I could be there for that event. I really do, but I can't afford to get out there unless somebody wants to pay for me to fly out there. Yeah, if any of you guys want to sponsor my show, by the way, or know anybody that would be interested, have them message me. And we can work out a package, for my show or for all the Fight Banana shows. We've got 6 or 7 shows. We're on pretty much every day of the week now. We just added James Lynch to the Fight Bananas family. So, that's a good thing. James Lynch is one of the better interviewers in the game. He's an excellent journalist. Happy to have him aboard and be associated with James Lynch and have James Lynch be associated with us here at Fight Bananas. Truly a major asset. Dalton Hastings, it's going good. Monica, are you going to buy me a trip out there? Let's go, girl. Hook a brother up. Good to see you, Dalton. For you guys that tuned in to see K-Star Christopher James and Curtis Blaydes, don't know what happened to Curtis. And I got Elvin Brito standing by. Let's see. All right, I just messaged Curtis again just for shits and giggles. We'll see if he grabs the message and pops up. If he does make it on tonight, he'll be very apologetic because he's that kind of guy. So, like I said, he's never missed before. What the hell are these things over here? Let me see something. Oh. These were my grandson had these for his school play, and they're sitting up here on my desk. I didn't even notice them until just now. I looked over to the right, and there they were. Oops. All right. Looking forward to see you coming up in August. Yeah, August 9th, Island Fights. Island Fights coming up August 9th. So that's going to be live at the Pensacola Bay Center. Mrs. Rothstein is going to accompany me to this event. It's been a while since she got to come to a show, so we're happy that she's taken a couple of days off of work to join me in Pensacola and do all my paperwork. I'm so excited about that. July 28th, I'll be hosting Matt Assassin BJJ tourney in Riverview, 6 p.m., 32-man absolute, ADCC. Rule set, $10,000 first prize. Tickets available at mattassassin.com. It's my first BJJ tournament. Here he is right now, a few minutes late, but he's here. I'm guessing he's at home in Puerto Rico. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Elvin Brito.
What's going on, brother? How you doing? I just got home. I had to run home. I had a tire blew on the way back. I still got my gym clothes on. I just set up outside. I didn't want to leave you hanging. Bro. It's been a while.
It's all right, man. How you doing, bro? Everything good?
Everything's great, man. I'm just looking forward to my next fight. You know.
How are the goats?
The goats are good. I got a lot of girls. I only got 10 goats right now. I sold a couple. But it's going. All the girls are pregnant, so we're gonna be looking at. It's gonna be a good year.
How many male goats do you have?
I only got 2.
So those 2 are knocking boots with all the ladies.
They're having a good time. They're keeping them busy.
I'm fucking jealous, man. That's fucked up, man. These 2 goats, they could each bring 5 girls each, or maybe one girls. Group. How many are pregnant?
I think 4 of them.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How many? When a female has baby goats, what's the usual production of the litter? Like how many?
1 to 3. Usually, the first time they usually only have 1.
Right.
But once they have 2, they usually keep having 2. And then when they start having 2 or 3, like they'll just keep having 2 or 3 every time. You know.
That's crazy. So you might be having are these all first time mommies coming up, or are these girls?
No, they always they give birth once, twice a year. We just keep turning.
So you might have 8 to 10 more.
Yeah, I might have 8 to 10 goats. I might have 20 goats by the end of the year. I probably will.
What do you do with them?
We'll sell some. We'll sell some. Goat meat's expensive.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. What are you raising all these goats for?
You ever had goat tacos?
No, I've never had goat tacos.
Yeah, birria. Yeah, it's really good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Goat tacos are fire, and goat meat is expensive. And it's fairly profitable. And goats are fun. They're just fun pets. I mean, I'm not gonna sell Pancho, but
you can't sell Pancho.
No, I can't. I'm not. But they're fun, man. They're fun pets.
But so basically, you're raising goats to as a form of income.
Yeah, it's just it's my thing. I got
nothing
goats.
wrong with that.
I got chickens too. And I get eggs every day, and we got cows, so we get milk. We get fresh milk every day, and so I haven't bought milk in forever.
One of my our viewers, Alex Clark, said he wants to be reincarnated as a goat. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, goats are fun. Yeah, I wouldn't. Goats are just like.
He just wants to go out. That's just because he wants to. He wants to have a lot of sex with a lot of different women, and you can't do that as a guy unless you're a Mormon or just or just an asshole. I guess So I guess you got to be a goat. So I guess when I die, I want to come back as a goat.
Hey, that's not a bad way to come back, man.
No, I think about it. I get to fucking run around, fucking pop people in the head, jump over fences, act a fool. And then have lots of sex with fucking random bitches.
Ponce got he got somebody taking care of him. He got 8 girls. He's just Chicago to walk, just having a good time. They get to run wild and be out in the woods and stuff. So it's like they're living the life.
You've already inspired
headbutting and banging chicks.
Well, shit, they headbutt you. All right, so I'm going to ask you a really tough question right now. And
ask me whatever you want, man.
I'm going to, and I'm going to ask you this because you're so close to this person, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
No, I'll answer.
But I'm just telling you, if you feel uncomfortable, say I don't want to talk about it, and we'll just move
I
on.
mean, unless we're talking about something like really crazy off the wall, then.
All right.
I don't mind. What's up?
Lorenzo Hunt, what's your take?
What's up?
What's your take on Lorenzo?
Oh well, I know Lorenzo. I know what's going on right now. I know that Lorenzo is actually not one of the only fighters that's getting ready to sue California Commission. California Commission's really been doing some. They did a lot of weird stuff in the show, and Lorenzo's not the only guy. And it's not only the. I said, I know there's going to be repercussions for whatever the hell the Florida Commission is trying to pull with at least two of the fighters that I know, Lorenzo being one of them.
Right.
I know another guy who's facing some really weird. And the thing is with the California Commission is that they double down when they get caught with some weird shit. They still want to, So it's really weird. I never dealt with the California Commission. I said I don't. As far as I'm sure something's gonna happen to him.
Well, he's suspended.
Lorenzo personally, and Lorenzo's been with me in the Trent Dome camp. It's almost 5 years now, and I've had people try to. Lorenzo's not the only fighter that's come to Puerto Rico, and I know Lorenzo personally. I know all my fighters and stuff personally. I could tell if you're juicing immediately.
Right.
I know. I've been fighting long enough, and Lorenzo is one of the cleanest people that I know. There's always a possibility that anybody can do anything. Nobody's perfect, but I'm willing to bet my friendship that somebody's going to pay for this, and it's not going to be Lorenzo. Because
but how is hang on a second. How is somebody else going to pay for it? I mean, his testing numbers are ridiculously off.
There's
because his test.
There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. I can't even get in detail about it because people are going to pay. But there's a reason why BKFC hasn't made an official statement, because they're not stupid.
Well, BKFC can't make an BKFC honestly shouldn't make an official statement.
They're not stupid. Believe me, somebody's going to pay, but it's not going to be Lorenzo. Okay, and the California could, fuck them. The California Commission. For all I know, I said fuck the California Commission. I'm against any kind of cheating in any way. I've been fighting for 20 years.
Of course,
I'm one of the cleanest fighters.
One of the most honest and guys with most integrity.
If Lorenzo was cheating or doing anything I wouldn't be defending him. And Lorenzo's here all the time training with me, and he does all the training camps here.
That's why I asked you about it.
If you're accusing him of juicing, you might as well accuse me of juicing. And fuck you. That's all I'm saying. And believe me, this is eventually going to get sorted out. I just hope that all the people that jump on the bandwagon and shit on Lorenzo, we're real quick to jump on it when the California was on some bullshit. Then when all this shit gets straightened out, because believe me, somebody's going to pay. I hope they real quick to jump to apologize too. That's all I'm saying.
Well yeah. Listen, all I can go off of, and this is just what I'm going off of. I'm just going based off the facts of what his test results said. I don't care about. Hang on. Let me finish. I'm looking at the test results because the test results,
right?
The test results administered by the state of California.
Right.
Also, I'm going to bring up Mick Terrell's account of what was going on when they were going to piss test him. He wanted to go back there with his dad and have his dad go with him for a piss test. So that looks shady. Then apparently he tried to sneak a bottle in. Again, this is according to Mick Terrell. I wasn't there.
No, listen.
So I'm just hold on before you talk. Let me just get it all out there so you know what we're talking about. So Mick Terrell said that first he tried to go back in the bathroom with his dad. The commission said no. Then when he found out somebody was going to watch him actually pee, he apparently had a bottle of something in his pocket, maybe just water. I don't know, but he made sure he got the bottle out of his pocket because he didn't want to have any problems with the commission. And then the test results came out. So, and the results are bad. I mean, they're just bad. I've never seen anybody with the testosterone level like his ever. But on the same note, I'm going to go with what you're saying. I've known Lorenzo a long time. He's always been cool. I never I never thought he was doing anything. He's just a big specimen of you.
Lorenzo's clean. Lorenzo's
He's
cleaner
just a
than
big
me, dude.
specimen of a human being. He's just
Lorenzo's
a big
cleaner
dude
than
in
me.
shape. Pardon me?
Lorenzo's cleaner than me.
Cleaner than you.
Yeah, I've never done steroids, but he's cleaner than me, buddy.
Well, like I said, so I'm not making an accusation. I'm not taking sides in this. I just want you to understand that
it's not over.
As somebody who covers the sport,
Somebody,
I just
there's fines.
I just report the facts that they have. And
there's fines and contentions and legal things that have to be paid.
Right.
Somebody's gonna pay. If Lorenzo's in the wrong, he's gonna pay. And then I'm like, hey, I guess Lorenzo, but I know it's bullshit. I said I'm willing to bring I'm willing to bet our friendship on it. Now, I know some shit that I said there's some little details that I don't want to I don't want to point out because somebody's gonna pay. Somebody's gonna pay for this because this is discrediting right now. Even if tomorrow they're like, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. We messed up. It's permanently staining his reputation.
Absolutely does.
And if Lorenzo's doing steroids, I might as well be doing steroids because he's over here. All my training camp, might as well the whole fucking jungle camp is dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm. That's why. Right now, I'm just waiting. But I'm telling you right now, Lorenzo's one of the cleanest people I know, and I'm willing to bet our friendship on the fact that eventually somebody's gonna pay, and it's not gonna be Lorenzo, and they're gonna suck my dick and all these motherfuckers. All right?
Okay, cool. Like I said, I just wanted to ask you about, get your take on it. I know how
eventually. Listen, eventually it's gonna be straightened out, and if like I said, if Lorenzo can't get out of it, and he's stuck with this shit that the Californians in, then he's gonna have to live with it.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we'll just see how it all plays out. I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this.
I'm not gonna even say too much.
No, don't. And I'm just going to say this, and then we'll move on from Lorenzo because I want to talk about you. But he did have a chance to go out there and address this in front of the commission, and he missed the date, which bothered me because if you're not guilty of something, you get out and get in front of it, and you get in front of that commission, and you go out there with your lawyers and everybody else, and you protect yourself. Because had he went in front of the commission when he was supposed to, the suspension probably would have been 3 or 4 months less than it is now, and the financial fine would have been a lot less on him.
Yeah.
So that bothered me. I don't want you to say anything.
There's a lot of details.
That's why I don't want you to say anything else.
There's a lot of details that I don't know, and there's a lot of details that I do know. But there's a lot. I'm not gonna say shit.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We'll just move on from it because I don't want you to say something.
All I'm saying is that look, listen.
You back Lorenzo 100%. That's it.
I'm with my people, and I'm telling you right now, if I thought that he was juicing, I'd be like, bye bye.
I know you would.
I wouldn't even be bothering to defend him.
I know you would.
I'd be like, burn. I wouldn't give a fuck.
That's why I wanted to ask you about it because I've known you long enough to know that you have a lot of integrity and the protection of the sport from cheating is something that you've always been serious about. So if somebody was knowingly cheating in your eyes, you would walk away. You wouldn't want to be associated with that person. That's why I want to ask you.
The thing is like Lorenzo is 40 too. I'm 38, bro. Like my buddy, he's known me since the beginning of my career. He's like, bro. I'd be like, bro, if I didn't know you, I'd be like, motherfucker, you're juicing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, bro. Like,
I would take my shirt off too, but I'd scare people.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Like I said, I would not be defending Lorenzo.
I know. That's why.
Like I said,
that's why I asked you, bro.
If I end up being wrong, and then then I have to be like, oh, sorry guys, I fucked up, and I defended the wrong.
And
guy.
If you were wrong, that's the thing. I know you would come out and say, hey, I fucked up. All right. So anyway, enough about Lorenzo. This message popped up from Jacob Kilburn. He said, much respect to you as a fighter, martial artist, and as a man. We are very aligned in many things. Honored to share both the ring and cage with him and call him a brother outside of the combat world. I love Jacob.
And Jacob's awesome. And me and Jacob had 2 awesome fights.
I know. Good shit.
We had two awesome fights, and Yeah, I went back and watched a couple of those fights again. It was such awesome fights. When I went to his hometown and when he came back to Florida, you know, and even though, you know, I felt like I've been getting fucked over in Florida in decisions for years, and that's just been part of my story, you know. And
I know.
And I've been in this game for a long time. I've been fighting at the top level for a long time, and I've been a top level fighter for a long time. And people look at my record, they see they don't, you know, they're like they don't really know what, like, this last guy I fought, bro. He didn't know what he's like. You think this next guy that I'm fighting, he don't know what he's getting himself into. I'm about to fuck him up.
That's what I was going to ask you about. You got August 16th. I believe it's in Kansas City, right? And it's you versus Jake Lindsay.
Yeah.
BKFC Fight Night. So that's your next fight coming up. Tell us a little bit about what you know about Lindsay and what he's going to bring in for you.
No, Jake's tough. I like Jake. That's why I didn't want to fight with him. But he's
Well,
big.
I love you, dude.
He's big. He's tough. You know, he throws real hard. He's perfect for what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna make it undisputable, undeniable that I am the champ, and they're gonna have to let me fight for my belt again.
Yeah, because I know that
Yeah.
you know, I know that you still
done.
have a sour taste in your mouth about how you lost your belt.
Oh yeah,
and
that's why
understandably
I had to make
so.
a statement, because my last fight, these people are acting like I'm in a decline. I'm like, have you not? You're just looking at the numbers, right? You're not actually sitting there and watching the fights, right? Like, I'm not in decline. Like, that's why that last fight happened the way it did, because there was a mismatch, and nobody knew it except me and my team, you know. And this next fight is not going to work out the way people think it's going to work out, you know. Jake Lindsay already tried to fight for my belt, and he failed. It was one of the worst title contentions in the history of BKFC. It was the third title fight at 165. You watched the first two, you watched the third one, you're going to watch the decline. I'm the real deal. I'm not go-go.
Yep. No, like I said, man, I'm excited for this fight for you. I like the matchup. I think it's going to be a very entertaining fight.
Definitely going to be entertaining. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be in a 60-foot range. There's nowhere to go. It's going to be high paced. You know, it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be really like, I want to top off my last fight. I want to make a statement. I want to get my belt before the end of the year. There's a whole bunch of things that I had in my mind that I visualized. I was trying to figure out how we're going to make it happen. And, you know,
right.
BKFC gave it to me in a silver platter, and, you know, they gave me what I wanted. I didn't ask for this opponent. He asked for me, and that's why I got to make him pay.
Yep. I mean, if they call your name, you got to show them that they never should put your name in their mouth, and that's what's coming up, you know, for Jake Lindsay. Real quick before I let you jump, give me your thoughts on Tony Soto fighting, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he's fighting in Spain. It's a really cool event coming up, and they're going to be doing this big press conference. Conor McGregor's going to be there. What the fuck's going on, bro? What you think of all this shit?
I'm just, you know what? Honestly, look, I'm jealous. I want to go to fucking Spain. I'm like, how are you gonna take Tony? He don't even know Spanish. You know, I'm like, I know Spanish. I can talk Spanish. I can do promos. But no, I'm happy for Tony. I'm happy he's getting the fight. I thought that they were gonna match him up with somebody else for the fight. I thought there was other people that are deserving of that American BKFC title.
Right.
But I'm not the matchmaker. Now Tony is deserving of a title shot. I'm glad he's finally getting his title shot.
Absolutely.
You know, I said I'm jealous that it's in Spain, and nobody said shit to me about it. But it's cool.
He's gonna be chilling with Conor McGregor and shit, dude. My boy Cyrus Fees is going over there. I'm jealous. Man. I'm jealous of my boy Cyrus, man. Fucking,
I know
he's doing a job that I wanted to get, and now he's getting to go out there and party with Conor. This is fucking bullshit.
They didn't even mention me.
Damn.
They Elvin knows Spanish. I could have been doing promos and everything.
All right, and last thing I'm going to ask you about also has nothing to do with you. I just want your opinion and take. Mike Perry or Jake Paul this weekend? Who's walking away with the dub?
Man, it's such an interesting fight. I'm cheering for Mike because Mike's our guy, you know. And
Mike's our people.
Mike's a bona fide bare knuckle fighter now, you know.
Absolutely. He's the face of BKFC right now. There's no denying that.
So, you know, I think because Tony because he has not Tony, because Mike has because Mike has become he's really become a specialist in the bare knuckle. His style has really kind of been tailored to bare knuckle style. He's been using a lot of bare knuckle technique very well. His coach is doing a good job. Those first 10 minutes is going to be hard because they're locked into those 10 minutes. It's just like when I went to boxing in Russia, I was beating the shit out of that dude for the first 10 minutes,
Yeah.
And then as soon as them 10 minutes, you're like, so I think in the beginning of the fight, Mike's going to be doing real good, but we don't know how they prepare themselves. And boxing is weird. Boxing, if it goes to a decision, it's a narrative thing,
Yep.
They can tell a story, and whoever they want to win wins.
Well, I'm taking Mike Perry 6-round TKO.
I would love that. That would be awesome.
That's what's gonna happen, bro.
I would love that. That'd be awesome. A shocker, a knockout. Hey, I'll go with that. Let's go with that.
Yep. All right. Cool. Be an elephant to ride out. Mike Perry 6-round TKO.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
We've known Mike since the Island Fight days.
Amen. I've known Mike longer than that, so I mean, it's like crazy now,
Mike longer than that. First time, I met Mike when he was doing like kickboxing and Island Fights.
Crazy shit, man. I love it.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, brother. Sorry you had a flat tire today. Thanks for making it to the show. My first guest didn't show up at all, so we were just sitting there shooting the shit about all kinds of stuff.
Sorry about the cursing. I got a little frustrated there.
You're allowed to, man. Drop the F-bomb. On my show, everything's good. And by the way, Britton Hart's mama says she can't wait to see you get your strap back. So that's awesome. Well, listen, brother, blessings to you. Name one of the goats, Christopher James. If you get a boy, fucking name a goat after me, dude. So
we got to come up with a name for him. Call him Chris or something, or James. Yeah.
CJ. Just call him CJ.
CJ. Yeah.
All right, brother. That. Blessings to you. Have a great day. Good luck in your upcoming fight, guys. It's Elvin El Bandito Brito, man. He's going to be fighting a couple weeks in Kansas. Jake Lindsay.
Yes.
He's coming for you, bro. You called his name.
Bro. I'm literally trying to keep myself distracted. All
right, brother. Be good, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Be
easy. Boys and girls, that is Elvin Brito. He's checking out. And coming up right now, we're going to roll right into my next guest. He's been sitting waiting patiently for me. He's got a big smile on his face. Got his cap on, fucking looking good. I love this guy. He's one of my favorite people I've ever got to encounter in the combat sports world. We're going to say hello to Brandon Killer B Davis. What's up, B?
Not much. What's going on, man?
Oh, man. Good to see you, bro.
Yeah, good to see you too. Always good to see you.
How you been, man? Tell me, get me caught up on what's going on in the world of BMD.
Oh man, just a lot of working, raising kids, training. I mean, been waiting on a fight since November last year, since I had that last fight. And Dean was like, "Oh, we'll get you back in March." And then when I talked to him about the March card, he was like, "Oh, it's too close." I was like, "Too close to what?" He's like, "To try to promote you." And I was like, "What? We talked about this in November." So I've just been waiting patiently.
Oh, yeah, because your last fight was November of 2023. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Joe Penfield, the party. That was a fun fight.
It was. Your nose broken that one.
Yeah, it happens, man. But you do have I don't remember how long ago I saw it, but I remember I seen something about you signing a new contract with Gamebred Bare-Knuckle. So you're just pretty much going to be fighting for them right now, or can you still do other things?
I read it. I know I can't do bare knuckle with anybody else.
You can't do BKFC. You can't do BYB. That's absolutely understood. I get that.
Yeah. Now, as far as like Dean's offered me like island fights and that and whatnot, which is, I guess, almost the same promotion. Yeah. But as far as that, I mean, there's a UFC clause in there, of course. Don't really know about just doing another MMA fight somewhere, but I'm sure that's allowed if it's not bare knuckle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm sure Dean, if he had a worthy opponent, a good matchup for you for Island Fights coming up, let's say August 9th, he'd definitely call you and definitely put you on that card. Because luckily he handles both jobs. You know what I'm saying? He's got Gamebred locked down. Island Fights is his company, so he can make the rules work for a guy like you.
Yeah, no, he's asked me if I wanted to fight on the Island Fights card, and the pages ain't there for that, so I just turn it down.
Understood. I get it. You're at a point in your career where you're not going to step into a ring or a cage unless X amount of dollars is there. And I get it. You're getting a little older. So you got to be smart about how you take fights. Now I totally understand that. not just smart against opponent, but smart financially. When you were 10 years ago, they would have called you up to, hey, you got this fight, Island Fights, here's the number. You would have jumped right on it.
Oh, yeah. Before I ever got UFC pay or anything like that, then, yeah, of course. I mean, you didn't even have to worry about pay. I was taking it's just how I've always been. If you offer me a fight, I'm not a bitch. If it's a good fight for me or it's a good fight for the fans, then I'm taking it.
What's the lowest payday you ever took? You don't have to tell me the promotion, but what's the lowest payday you took as a pro?
I mean, when you start out, you're only making like my first few shows was like 300 and 300. That was my first show, and I think the next show was like 600 and 600. So I mean, other than that, I mean, I think I had 10 pro fights, and I think the most I made before I made it to the UFC was $2,000 as to win. That was show and win money.
Okay.
So, I mean, so I was like, whenever you go to the UFC or you do the Contender Series and then you get the 5 and 5, and you're like, oh man, this is nice. At $10,000 right out of the gate, and then you get to the UFC, and then you start out at 10 and 10, and then you got the Reebok. Back then, you got the Reebok bonus and locker room bonus, which was $5,000 or $2,500, and then your Reebok at the beginning was $3,000. So you're making $5,500 off of not doing anything other than just showing up. You know what I mean? And that's more than what most people make on local fights.
Right, no doubt about that. Was it hard for you coming back to a regional level after being in the UFC?
I mean, it wasn't my first time. I got released.
No, I know, but that's why I'm asking. I mean, you've gone through it a couple of times. Does it hurt your feelings, or you just go, hey, that's just the way life works?
No, I mean, it is what it is. I took too many short notice fights, and what's crazy is how many short notice fights I took and how many split decision losses I had in the UFC. Like, I'm taking these fights on a week and 2 weeks notice and everything, and I'm barely losing to the guys. And like, you'll see most people like on the UFC page, like Brandon won that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So of course it all goes back to the judges. Like, I took the Kyung Ho Kong fight. That was on Full Camp, right? And that dude's a beast. He's like 13 and 3 in the UFC.
Yep.
Just been in there for a long time. He's like a really good wrestler, decent striking, good boxing. Beat him up. I was beating him up the first round, had him like where he couldn't even walk off calf kicks in the first round, and then he landed a jab at the end, that while I was throwing a kick and I was off balance. So it got me off balance. I fell. Still counts as a knockdown. So I don't know if I won or lost that round. I don't remember. I won the second round for sure. So I guess I lost that round. Won the second round for sure. Then the third round, and he's trying to take me down the whole time. So this shows like I actually got pretty decent wrestling and wrestling defense. When I get in there, I want to fuck this dude up. That's my mindset. Fuck this guy up. So a lot of times it's not taking them down, which is dumb on my part, because even if I get one takedown here and there, it just opens up my striking so much more. And I actually have good jiu-jitsu. I got really good jiu-jitsu, and I got good striking. I mean, good wrestling, and good striking too. But so I need to implement all that more. But so that fight, that Kyung Ho Kong fight, third round, he tried to take me down a few times. I stop all of them, and I'm beating him up, and I throw a head kick, and I miss with the head kick, and I slip. And you hear Joe Rogan say on there, "Oh man, that might be the worst thing that could happen for Brandon." Well, then we are on the ground for a minute. He's not doing anything. The ref stands us up. We get back up, and I'm like, I'm about to kill the dude. Boom, boom, and land a couple punches, throw, and he shoots and actually gets the takedown this time. And then from the bottom, I'm beating him up. I break his nose from the bottom with elbows, and he's not landing anything. And then like the last 10 seconds, he tries to throw like a flurry and still doesn't do anything. But I get a split decision loss on that. So I'm like, all right, I lost by this dude literally just holding me here, but not doing anything. And he was just trying to take me down because his leg was beat up. So the next fight, I fight Giga Jakaji on 2 weeks' notice.
Yep.
Take take him down first round, like easy. Should have finished him. I got too overamped and I didn't keep my balance. So he got on top for like 30 seconds at the end. We go back, second round, we're standing and banging the whole time. Third round, standing and banging. I get a couple of takedowns at the end. And it comes up as a draw. Me and him had a draw.
Right.
And then 20 minutes later, I'm backstage doing interviews, and Sean Shelby walks to me and he's like, "Hey, man, they said they added the score up wrong. You lost a split decision." I'm like, "What? How the fuck?" It took them 10 minutes to come out with the fucking scorecards anyways after the fight. But anyways, that's like 2 of the split decisions back to back. But my whole point was I kind of did the thing where Kyung-Ho Kong did to me the fight before. In the third round, I just took him down. I didn't do a lot of damage, but I took him down a couple of times, like thinking, all right, if I have the same judges, I'll win. Maybe I don't know if I had the same judges or not, but I still lost a split decision. I'm like, man, I can't fucking win to lose. I don't think I've ever won a split decision, and I lost like 7 of them. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at your record right now, trying to see how many you did have by split decision, because that is you've definitely been involved in a few. 928.
Shit. I know me and Kyle Botniak. I don't see how the fuck I lost that. That was crazy. Kyle Botniak was one I should have won. That wasn't a split decision though, for whatever reason. That was crazy. Like, if you go look at the stats on that and you go win, other than he's from Boston and we're fighting in Boston.
Right.
Then who did I have? Split decisions for sure. I know in the UFC I've had my last 3 out of my last 4 fights was Kyung-Ho Kong, Giga Chikadze, which was a draw, and then it changed to a split decision. And then the last guy I fought, I can't remember his name right now.
Your last UFC fight, Bagger Trail Ghana. But that was lost knees and punches. Oh, Mana Martinez, yeah. Mana Martinez was legend. That was a split. I'm just trying to look back and see, because that's 3 in the UFC.
There's 3 in the UFC.
Yeah.
Last 3 out of 4.
And then you had one against Dewan Pickney at
Dewan Pickney.
And
he missed weight by like fucking 20 pounds. And I was like, we were fighting at 155. I was like, oh, he was like,
I only see the 4. I don't see any other split decisions.
I'm trying to think. Was not Jesse Sanderson that one?
When did you fight Jesse? Jesse Sanderson was a unanimous decision loss.
Was
according to Tapology?
Huh. I thought that was one.
Maybe you better call them and say, "Hey, yo, man, get my shit right." That must have been crazy too. Going back, they tell you 10 minutes after the fight's over that it was a split decision loss. I don't know how calm I would have been in that situation.
I said, "Fuck it, whatever," and I walked off because I knew I was going to get cut after that.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, man.
And we were all the way in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Yeah, Copenhagen, Denmark.
Big dick over there. I might just get left over there.
Well, your plane ticket was already booked, so I mean, you could have gotten home. I mean, because they book you round trip, they don't book you one way, so you would have been good. You could have told them what you fucking thought, and then just got on the plane and got the fuck out of there. But it's not a good business move, because if you ever want to go back, that's the part.
I did go back after that. Sean Shelby messaged me personally, like, oh, not messaged me, called me on my phone. He's like, "Man, I've been trying to get a hold of you. Like, I don't know who your management is." This is the crazy part. So when I got back into the UFC, I remember one day I was just like, before I got back into the UFC, I had just beat, can't remember his name. It was my last fight before the UFC.
Josh Huber.
And Josh Huber, he was like 16-6 or something. I don't know. Good record. And he fought, I remember he fought Corey Sandhagen. Him and Corey Sandhagen had a fucking brawl all 3 rounds. I finished the dude in like 30 seconds. So then, like a couple of weeks later, I got an email that's like I used to get when I was in the UFC, is where the they send out, if you want to get tickets for your people, your friends and family tickets, you get like a discounted price for them. And I got one of those, and it was like for UFC whatever card. And I was like, that must have been a mistake. And then later on, we'll come back to that. But so then later on, I'm like, I get a call from my manager. That's actually my manager, Sucker Punch, and he was like, "Hey man, Sean Shelby's been asking about you or whatever, and you think you want to get back in?" I was like, "Hell yeah! What kind of question is that?" And he was like, "All right, well, we got 2 fighters. We got what's his name? The guy I lost to. Got the only guy I've ever been TKO'd by. Donna. Dana Bakri.
Gary, not Donna. I don't fucking know, man.
It's
I should know his name. God damn it.
It's Dana Bakri. But they're like, you want him or the guy that won the Ultimate Fighter at one point at 45? Can't remember that dude's name. And I was like, give me the guy from Ultimate Fighter. It'd get more views, whatever. It'd be a better one. And the Nah dude, you could just tell, just hits hard as fuck. So I was like, yeah, just let me get this fucking dude. He didn't accept it, so I got denied. I didn't care. But he called me. Sean Shelby called me. He's like, man, I've been trying to contact your management about getting you back in, and he was trying to contact First Round. I wasn't even with First Round anymore. What I was told later on was like, yeah, he contacted First Round, and they were like, yeah, he can't make weight, so they got one of their people. Like, motherfucker, I ain't even with y'all. So they used, like, I was on their roster still to get one of their guys in on short notice. They're like, he won't be able to make weight in time. I wasn't even with them. So Sean Shelby called me personally. I got a call. You know, I remember when I used to be, like, before I ever made it to the UFC the first time, I was like, man, how crazy would it be if you got a call and it's like Las Vegas, and then you answer, it's like, hey, do you want to come fight in the UFC? It was literally, it said, I didn't have Sean Shelby's phone number, so it said Las Vegas, and on Samsung phones, it has like a green and a check mark if it's like a legit number. So I'm like,
right.
It's like 7 o'clock at night, so I'm guessing it's 5 o'clock over there for them. I answer, and I'm like, hello? He's like, hey, Brandon, this is Sean Shelby. And I'm like, oh, what's up? And I was like, he was like, hey, man, I've been trying to contact you. Who's your manager? I said, Sucker Punch. He's like, man, I've been going around the rings trying to find out who your management was to get a hold of you. He's like, I got these fights, and he told me the 2 people, and I was like, man, let me look at them both. And I mean, I don't care. I'll take either one of them. But if you want me to choose, the other one was Mike something. Mark, I think his last name starts with a T. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. He won it.
Trezano.
Mike Trezano. Yeah. So I was hoping to get that one.
He's in BKFC now, I believe.
Is he?
Yeah.
But I was hoping to get that one. I didn't get it, and I got denied. But that was crazy. But the whole fucking thing about saying that I couldn't make weight and all that pissed me off, because there's no telling who I went back and tried to look and see who was fighting on that card then. And there's like 2 or 3 35ers, two or three 35 fights. And I was like, man, if I could, maybe I would have won that one instead of losing to the I know it just changed everything. But I mean, if shit in your hand, you know what I mean? You know the whole saying. Like,
yeah.
Your hand.
That's a crazy story right there, man. Fucking somebody who doesn't represent you represented you falsely. That would piss me off.
No, I was super heated. I mean, I wasn't heated at the time. I still made it back in, but I was heated once I lost my fight. I was like, no telling who. Maybe I would have lost to this other guy or whatever. But I mean, it is what it is. Maybe I would
have been heated either way, whether I won or lost my fight. I just, don't speak for me. If you're
I'm still not. I think it's complete bullshit. It's some shady ass shit. But like I said, it's my job to go in there and win fights, and I didn't do that. So.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's the thing. I think sometimes over my years of covering the sport and being around a lot of fighters, some guys find it hard to say what you just said. At the end of the day, it's my job to go in there and win fights, and I didn't do my job. Some guys really find it hard to say that. So, you already know I fucking love you to death and I respect you, but that just gives me a little more respect for you because you're willing to say that, and you know what I'm talking about. Some guys just don't want to ever completely own that. Hey, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and that's why they're where they are, you know. And like I said, it's cool that you do that, man. So Gamebred gave you a contract, so you're supposed to fight for them. We already talked about, you know, you're not going to fight at Island Fights. The number wasn't right for you. Do you have any idea on the next Gamebred card? Are you going to get on that one? Because I know there's one coming up. I don't have the date, but it's not too far down the road. I want to say September. So
I don't know if I'm allowed to announce. I know I'm not allowed to announce my opponent or anything, but the dates I've heard is September 14th or September 6th, and September 6th is most likely the one, and it would be down here on the coast at the Coliseum.
Right. And yeah, don't announce your opponent. I don't want you to get in any trouble.
I read my contract enough. If I announce my opponent before they do, they can take 10% of my purse. And
yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. So
that's happening.
If you want to tell me off the air in a message, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. I don't want you to fucking give up money for saying something, you know, just for saying the guy's name. Wouldn't that suck? You lose 10% of your purse just for saying somebody's name. Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm not doing that. I will say this. If everybody wants like an idea, somebody I have fought before, and it was a fucking hell of a fight.
Don't say anything else, man.
I'm not saying shit else. I mean, that's not. I mean, I can legally say that regardless. That ain't. That's what I just said. If you want to go through and look at all my people I fought, this might be somebody I fought amateur, somebody I fought pro. Shit, I mean, I fought. You guys think I fought Amir Khan, the guy from 1FC. He used to be their 155 title holder. He was like my third or fourth amateur fight.
He's not even listed here on your amateur.
It could be a lot of different people, but I can tell you
Tapology, he's not even listed on your Tapology. That's weird. It only shows you having 3 amateur fights on Tapology.
No, yeah, I had 10 amateur fights.
I know you had a bunch more than that, so I'll have to go look it up. Let's see. Now I got to know.
He's their 155 title holder for a while.
Brandon Michael Davis, sure dog. Let's see if they have a better fucking accounting of your fight career.
It was for Anthony Mitchell's show back in the day.
Amir Khan, January 19th, 2013.
Yes.
Unanimous decision.
Yeah. So I knocked him down one time. He was really good. At that point, I didn't know how to check kicks and good at boxing, and he was fucking straight from fucking Singapore. So he had already been doing all that. So I can't remember, it was like 69 leg kicks.
Jesus.
Without checking one. And I was good motherfucker landing. Anthony Mitchell came into me. He's like, man, I've trained with Anderson Silva over a bunch. He's like, I've never seen leg kicks like that thrown. He's like, that dude's better than a lot of the pros around here. And we were both amateur at the time. And then he ends up going to Evolve and training over there and becomes 1FC champ and everything. Me and him still talk.
That's cool.
So, I mean, but you know what's crazy is how fast you learn. Like, you know how people are like, you try to learn like a language like Spanish or something, and you try to do it through textbooks or teaching or class.
Right.
The fastest way to learn is to immerse yourself. Like somebody throws you in Mexico, you're going to learn how to speak fucking Spanish, because if not, you're going to fucking die. So it was the same thing. I got in there with his ass. I swear to God, after that fight, I knew how to check kicks.
I bet you fucking did.
No, it wasn't like I wasn't trained. I mean, I did, of course, but that like immediately knew how to check. But my kicks themselves, I guess from watching from the other side of him throwing them, my kicks have gotten so much harder and so much better. Me and Jay McIntosh and Tyler Hill used to talk about it. It's like, it was crazy how fucking, it was like instantly. I mean, it wasn't like the next week, because my leg, you know how your Faber's leg looked after he fought Jose Aldo? That's how my
God.
It was black, literally black. And I couldn't, so when I got home that night, I couldn't go up the stairs. I couldn't walk up the stairs. I had to, my right leg was good, left leg wasn't. I had to go up sideways, step up my left leg, I step up with my right leg, my left leg would not bend. And so after about a week of the thigh being purple, all the blood and blackness, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. after a week of all the blood and black everything up on my thigh, it all went down to my calf and ankle and everything. It was weird. Like a week later, it just all fucking fell down to my lower lip. So I don't know, it was weird, but like I said, it made me so much better off of that.
It's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, but like I said, it's the same way as if you train. Like if you're training with people and you're beating everybody up, you're not going to get better. If you go in there with killers, you're going to get better just off seeing what they do.
Yeah.
Them do it to you. It's the same thing that happened in that fight.
That's why it's better to, in my opinion, if you're at a gym and you're training there all the time and it's been your home gym and you become the big fish in that pond, it's time for you to move to a new pond to become the small fish again, because you won't evolve, so and that's what I've known about you over the years. You've trained with so many people, not just at your regular gym. You've been around and you've done different camps at different spots because you wanted to get the most experience and knowledge you could.
Yeah, Uriah Favors, good friend. I go out there and train a lot. Cowboy, good friend. When I go out there and train, though, it's not. I do get a lot of good wrestling as far as coaching, because Jafari Super D is his nickname. That's out there. Great wrestling coach. He's out there. But when I go out to Cowboys, I'm helping him get ready for his fights. Right.
Right.
I went in for Ally, Quinna, Tony, Conor McGregor. There was like 6 fights I was there for. 6 fight champs.
Yep.
And
just admit it, you didn't go out there to help him. You just went out there to ride motor scooters and fucking act like a lunatic with Donald Cerrone.
Hey, well, this is the thing. If you go out there and you're a bitch, they don't want you back. Like they don't invite you back. So you gotta get up and go and fucking train the same way they do. If you decide to stay in, like the next time, like, no, don't even worry about coming back. You got to go train. You got to be good enough to hang with them. And then, I mean, of course, all the other stuff, all the adrenaline stuff, that I like to do all that on my own.
So, I know you do. That's what I'm saying. That's why you took those opportunities. Like, fuck it, I get to go out there and do all the adrenaline junkie shit and spar with Cerrone. Fucking A, it's a win.
My wife used to get so mad. She'd be like, "You're out there just having fun. I'm over here working." This is because we don't post the training. Of course, the training sucks, but we post the good times. Like, so what we would do, we'd wake up in the morning and we'd do our cardio. It'd either be swimming, which I fucking hate. Oh man, especially at altitude, and it ain't just like swimming for fun. Like you're doing laps, and then Jesse's the coach out there. Then you have to do all these specific drills, and you got to do this shit where your hands out of the water, elbows out of the water, where you're floating, just using your. I mean, terrible. It was terrible. Everything was terrible. I got better towards the end, like towards the last camp that I did with him when he was still fighting. But even then, I didn't, just fucking sucks. It's like they're just swimming easily, and I'm fucking sinking. I'm using so much more energy than them. But other than that, I mean, if you go out there and then if we weren't doing that, we're doing the bikes and everything. Then we'd go out, 2-hour ride to the lake. We'd take the boat, have fun for about 2 hours, come back, train, cook dinner, train again, go to the sauna, hot tub, whatever he had at his house. He has the sauna and the hot tub, whichever one you want to do. Most of the time, we just all get in the sauna and chill. Wake up the next morning about 7 o'clock and do it again. So, I mean, out there, like I said, other than wrestling, I didn't really learn much, but I got to train with a lot of good people. D-Rod was always out there. Me and D-Rod were training. Me and, like I said, Jafari, Joe Schilling was out there most of the times when I was out there. So it was always fun. But I learned most when I went to like Uriah's. Uriah's was really good.
You've been around, brother. You got to do some cool shit, see some cool shit around the world. And you get to continue to do the world of fighting. What are you doing for, because obviously you're not getting enough fights to make a living where you don't have to do other stuff right now. So what are you doing right now to, keep the boat afloat?
Hey, Gamebred pays pretty well.
Okay. I know they pay well.
As long as you win, you can live off of that. You fight 2 times a year, I can live off that. I'll make more than most a year.
All right, well, see
then. If I win 2 fights, just say it's 6 figures. Over.
Nice. Right, all right. I guess
so, I mean,
full time. Pardon me.
You can definitely do that. But I work too. Just because I don't get benefits out of fighting.
Right.
I work at UPS. So
that's right. You've been doing that for a long time, right?
For 4 years. They have the best benefits. Like, I got fucking 4 kids, so I can't just be paying insurance. Like myself, at UPS, you get insurance for free, and it is literally the best insurance you can get. Like, you have a $200 deductible on each person in your family until you reach $1,000, and you don't pay anything else. And I mean, that's free MRIs, free X-rays, everything. It's great. It's
awesome.
It's great.
Are you a driver?
I am a TCD. It's called a temporary cover driver. I most likely have a chance to go full time at the end of this month, which would take away a lot of training time. But at the same time, I don't have to start as early in the morning, so I could train in the morning.
Right.
So right now I get up in the morning and I'm either in the feeder. That's the truck the semi that brings in the trailer with all the boxes in there. And I either get in the feeder and I throw out all the boxes onto the belt and somebody scans them and then they have people down the belt. The belt is like however many trucks on each side. And each person has 3 trucks and there's a label on it. You had to put it on there and whichever label is, this is 55C and this is 44D or whatever, then you have to make sure it's on the right truck and you have to make sure it's in chronological order. And then that helps doctors for later on. But I usually don't load trucks. I'm either in the feeder or I'm scanning. Scanning's easy. It's the easiest part. It's like shooting a gun. It's fun.
Boop. Boop.
So I'm usually scanning, and if I'm not scanning, I'm in the feeder. So I even get a workout even there, and it's hot as fuck.
Oh, I bet.
Building. So if you're in the feeder, I mean, you're burning probably 3,000 calories in that 5 hours that you're there in the morning.
Jesus. That's a good workout.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great cardio, but you can eat whatever you want to.
Keeps your metabolism just burning shit, dude. Fucking, yes. And that's a big part of that, especially as you get older, man. Your metabolism wants to slow the fuck down. So I hope you get the full-time driver job, dude, because UPS drivers make fucking bank. I'm 55 and I don't think I could handle the physical part of doing the job because I've had some back surgery and I've had 3 heart attacks and all that other shit. So, but if I was in shape and I could do UPS and they would hire me at this age, I'd be banging on their fucking door because I would drive all day for the fucking money and benefits package they offer. Fuck yeah.
So how it works with UPS is I know this ain't what everybody wants to hear or anything. I'll keep it quick, nice and short. It's a seniority-based company, so It doesn't matter if you're good or bad, which is good and bad, because if somebody's above you and they suck at driving, or suck at working, then whenever you become a full-time driver, you go out and drive. You have to help them, even though you did all your job. You got to go help them. So it's seniority-based. It doesn't matter if you're good or not. If they've had more time in than you, then they're gonna be above you.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, with that said, if they offer 6 driver spots, I'm like the 5th one down, then I'll be a full-time driver.
That would be awesome. Like I said, the benefits are killer, and you got 4 kids. You need them. You need them bennies, bro.
Oh yeah, as a full-time driver, the minimum you're making is $104,000.
Yep.
So not bad.
No, it's not too bad at all. And if you stay as a driver, you stay as a driver, for another 15 years, you drive 15, 20 years because you're still young enough where you could actually pull that off.
Yeah.
You're set for life because their benefits are fucking great. Their retirement packages and all that shit that they offer.
They have a great pension.
Yeah.
I went and played golf yesterday, and it was all 3 of us were UPS people, and the 2 older guys were full-time drivers. They're about to retire next year. And I think after 35 years, you get $5,300 a month for your pension from your 401k and everything. So you do good if you put in the time. But it is a job that will take it out of your body if you're not doing it right or if you're not in shape.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt about it, man. You don't really see too many out of shape UPS drivers.
Yeah,
you just don't.
At least not older ones, for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen an out of shape UPS driver in my life. If I'm being honest with you, probably, FedEx the same. But Amazon got some out of shape drivers.
Yeah, they're in the fucking air conditioner. We don't even have an air conditioner. We got the doors open so you can get some air.
I know, dude. Fucking, I laugh at that. Amazon's got these nice hybrid. Some of them are vehicles, super
Right.
fucking electric. And,
Bands, yeah.
drivers fucking. You know what kills me? And I don't see this, and I don't have a favorite shipping company, but I drive down the road and I see UPS guys and they're just or girls driving whatever, and they're focused on the road. They're doing their thing. I see Amazon drivers always on their fucking phones. Every single fucking one of them. I'm like, and the crazy thing with Amazon is, even though the truck says Amazon and your package is coming from Amazon, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is the actual Amazon company, because they contract out a lot of drivers, where I get to say I'm an Amazon, driver supply company, but I'm not really Amazon. So it's a little weird how they did it, but I can't believe how fast they became so huge.
Oh man, they're like supposedly getting a union and everything, and they're about to get benefits and stuff. Right now, I mean, they don't have all that, but we deliver so many Amazon packages. It's crazy. It's like half of our stuff. So
I know it's fucking bonkers.
The post office and everything too. So
if Amazon were to go down one day, fucking the whole world would shut down. Fucking that's how crazy it is right now.
Well, shit. What's his name that owns it? Has so much money. I did the math on it one time, and people don't know how much. People just really don't know how much more a million is than a billion, and it's crazy. Like when you hear the numbers, and I think Jeff Bezos is worth, like, I know before he got divorced, it was like 367 billion. But the math on the difference in a million and a billion. So if you want a million and a billion, if you want it in like seconds, a million seconds is a week, 7 days, or almost 7 days. A billion seconds is 32 years.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. So if you think you're rich because you're a millionaire, you're wrong. You're rich when you're a billion.
No. I disagree. You're rich when you're a million. You're rich when you're a millionaire.
I agree.
But there's a level, I mean, like if I had
Are you rich if you have $1 million these days? Are you rich? Because that 1 million doesn't go too far these days.
Well, if you
I would like to have $1 million. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money, but I don't consider it just like fucking rich.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're smart with the money and you have $1 million, and let's say you have $1 million, you've already paid your taxes on it, property, income tax, all that shit. You have $1 million. It's actually your cash, your money. If you are smart with that money and you know how to take that money and make it work for you, I think you could retire off $1 million. Will you live the crazy high priced lifestyle that, some people live? Probably not. But would you ever have to worry about your bills again? Definitely not.
No, so, I think you can go on some vacations, but you're not going to be living like a lavish lifestyle like you're saying. I think you would be able to have a decent house, like a nice house, and you'd be able to pay that. I know if you had like $10 million and you put it in the bank or in a correct account, then you can live off
the interest.
The interest of it. Now even then you're not going to be making a shit like living a lavish life, but you'll be living and not having to worry about any money, and you can start to put that towards stuff and everything. But I mean, like I said, this ain't what people want to hear. I'm not a finance major.
It's all right, man. That's the one thing on this show. Everything is open for discussion. So I want the people that are watching to enjoy the conversation, but sometimes we just talk about life and different things like this. Like, I'm sure at the end of the day, if I took a poll and I asked everybody, hey, do you want to hear about this fighter's career as a UPS driver? They'd probably say no. But
they say, but no.
But for me, I want to hear it. And there's other people out there that want to hear that, because it reminds, like hearing this story, and from other fighters that, I mean, obviously Conor McGregor is the top end of the spectrum. He's so rich, you don't have to do anything. But for most fighters, that's not the case. There are a few that have become extremely wealthy, but really the majority of them are average, still run-of-the-mill people. And I think the true fans of the sport and the athletes like hearing these stories, because it reminds them that you're just like them. you just took a different path. You got to do something that a lot of people don't get to do in becoming a UFC fighter. It's cool, and I know, hey, I know this guy Brandon. He's used to be in the UFC. He works at UPS. Fucking, my uncle worked at UPS. Fucking, how cool is that? They find different ways to connect with you. So I think it's a cool thing to tell these stories. So anytime people come on my show and tell a story outside of MMA or bare knuckle or whatever, fucking love it.
I always like to think about like Mighty Mouse. Like he still worked in a warehouse until after he defended his title for the third time. He was still working at the warehouse at nights.
Yeah,
like, that's how you know. Like, I mean, you're down to earth or whatever. I'm not gonna say I'm down to earth. If I was fucking just making a shit ton of money, I'd. But for him to do that and make sure that he was established and defended his belt 3 times, and then finally quit his job because he probably was making more money off of other stuff that he didn't work. Then I mean that's cool. And I used to watch that show, or used to watch parts like and a couple of episodes of that show, like after the UFC, and I thought, fuck, I'll never want to be that guy, but I'm that guy now.
But you are. That's okay, man. Listen, at the end of the day, Brandon, you didn't just get to the UFC. You got to the UFC. You left the UFC. You got back to the UFC, which is harder than getting there the first fucking time. So you've accomplished quite a lot. Did you achieve your goals with the UFC? No, because your goal is to be the world champion. If that's not your goal going there, then why the fuck are you going there?
Yeah.
So your goal is to be the best in the world. Did you get there? No. Do I, in my opinion, and this is my opinion on what you're thinking, do I think Brandon has any regrets about how it played out? After talking to you tonight, I don't think you do. I think you just fucking, you went out there and you tried life. You tried this, and you made your best run. Like you said, you made your best run. You didn't do exactly what you wanted to. So I think it's fucking awesome what you've done. That's why I got a lot of respect for you, because most guys would have given up after getting booted out, from the UFC. You didn't give up. You kept working harder to get back there. And that's like I said, it's harder to get back to the UFC than it is to get in there in the first place. So that's a commendable thing that a lot of guys, how many guys that washed out and never made it back?
Oh man, so many. It's funny though, is like all the people that I've known, or most of the people that I've known that have just, like, you lose fights even as a pro and amateur, and you're trying to make it to the UFC, and you lose fights, but all the ones that I've known that just stuck with it and not giving up after they lost 3 or 4 fights have almost all made it, or made it to the Contender Series, or made it close, or made it to Bellator or whatever. They've all made it. You got to think of Anthony Smith. Like, whenever he got in, he was like 26-12 or some shit. Like, I mean, if you give up, like you do it and you give up, then you aren't meant to make it. But if you just keep pushing, you might get lucky and get the chance just by taking these fights. And one thing about me is I'm not ever taking an easy fight. I'm always fighting whoever. Like, even in my first couple pro fights, like I remember the commentators being like, or the people setting up the fights, like, he wants to take this fight? Why? Like, that's a fan fight for sure, but why does he want to take it? It's a bad fight for him and not to beat the guy.
That's the way it goes.
So, I mean,
like you took on Zabit. Nobody wanted to fight that fucking guy.
I took on Zabit on literally 8 days notice with 3 herniated discs in my back. I was not even training at the time because I couldn't put my socks on. So what they did is that the UFC sent me to this place called the Spine Institute of Mississippi, and what they would make me do is they'd send me in there for an hour, and I would lay on this board on my stomach, and they would have this pole you grab, and they would strap your ankles down, and the pole would pull one way, and they'd pull your ankles the other way, and it would decompress your back. So it would get my back to where those herniated discs kind of got some relieve some pressure off of for an hour.
Right.
And I did that every day until I had to leave they let me leave on Wednesday for that fight. I still had to leave on Tuesday. So I did that from Saturday until Tuesday. And then I went to the fight, and I felt good, but my cardio just wasn't there. So why I got up like a dumbass, got up all lazy and got that submission put on me. I was fucking tired. But I think if I could have made it to the third round, I think he was more tired than me. I just was in a bad position, and he got what he got.
Yeah, but the point of that whole thing is that you took that fight on 8 days' notice when there was guys that were so much further ahead in the rankings and where you are coming in off the street like that didn't want to fight this clown, and like I said, big opportunities pop up for you. You've never been one to shy away. Fuck, it was a beat. It's like my boy Nate Manis. He just fought against Jimmy Flick, got a win. He's 5-2 in the octagon. Three of his fights have gotten fight night bonuses. He's on a 2-fight winning streak, and they haven't offered him a new contract. He's officially a free agent today.
What? Jimmy Flick's a tough fight too.
Fucking
That's what, 125ers,
125ers.
Yeah. I remember watching Jimmy Flick, and he was in the UFC the first time he made it back.
Yep.
So I mean, that's crazy. He didn't get offered another one. I mean, what kind of fighter is he? Striker, wrestler?
He's well rounded, but his main game is up on his feet.
You think they would have him back then.
And he fought the Jimmy Flick smart because Jimmy wants to fight on the ground. So Nate never gave Jimmy the opportunity to get, the hold of him and bring him to the ground. He fought a smart fight. It was a little, I guess I would say it was not as exciting as you want from Nate Manis, but
a win's a win.
A win's a win. And, he knew his contract was coming up. So, sometimes you got to fight that smart fight and get the win.
Yes, especially to renegotiate and get more pay. Like, why? I mean, you see it happen all the time with people going into new contracts or defending a title, or they're going to fight. John Jones does it the most these days. The boring fight to try to maintain his championship. Like back in the day, the dude used to be a killer. And I'm not saying he's not a killer now, but he does not fight the same as when he fought Lyoto Machida and everybody back then. He is
older and wiser.
He's not willing to put himself out there to get knocked out or have the opportunity. He fights smart and it's not as exciting, but he wins. So, I mean, I don't see how they wouldn't sign somebody back off of that.
Especially, I could probably, if I wanted to take the time to do it, which I don't want to do, but I could probably take the time and go through the roster. I could probably find guys on 2 and 3 fight losing streaks, men and women, that are still part of the promotion. 3-fight losing streak.
Man, how long was Sam? What's his name? Sam
Alvey.
He had to be on 8 fights.
I think he had an 8-fight skid.
Yeah, it was bad. That was like, whose dick is he sucking?
Right. Well, you know what it was? I mean, he took some short notice fights at different weight classes. He was always there. He was the guy you can call last minute and he'd show up. And a lot of his fights were close. He had a couple split decisions, kind of like you, I mean,
but I didn't get that many chances.
No, I that's what I'm saying. And I love Sam, I mean, he's the
I don't have a problem with that at all.
He's the karate combat heavyweight champion right now.
Is he? I didn't watch that fight. How did he win?
I don't even remember because it's been a minute since I watched it. I'd have to go pull it up. But karate combat is basically standing up. So, I mean, fuck it. So I think he got a TKO if I remember correctly. I'm trying to get him set up on the show, but I reached out to him a couple of weeks ago. He didn't get back to me till today. And I was like, all right, I got a date for you, but it's going to be 2 weeks from now because I had to book the show out, And he goes, well, I'll let you know on that day because I'm fighting like the day before, And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. You are fighting the day before. So he goes, I might be fucked up. You just don't know. I just laugh because that dude married America's top model. You know what I'm saying? I mean, fucking talk about living a charmed life. I get to fight in the UFC. I had a bad skin in the UFC. I still got to fight in the UFC. I married America's next top model. I've got a bunch of kids with this woman. I think he's got a couple of adopted kids. He's got a farm in Tennessee, that they live on. He's fighting karate combat. He's their heavyweight champion. Sam Alvey's got it pretty fucking good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I forget about the wife. He married America's next top model.
Because wasn't she the one that was always in the corner?
Yeah, she works his corner every fight.
Yeah, I didn't know she was America's top model or next top model or whatever that was.
Yep, she won the show. Like she wasn't just on the show; she won the show.
That's
My wife's over here nodding, going, "Yeah, bitch, yeah."
Well, my wife didn't win any of that. I'll go get her.
My wife didn't win any of that either, but fucking, she's still my next. She's still my next top model.
Yeah, mine's my next fucking the one that's gonna get me killed.
I fucking love it. Well, listen, brother. We've had you on for a little while right now, so I'm gonna fucking let you get out of there. You look like you're still in the gym or something there. If I could just relax.
Yeah, I am.
All right. Well, listen. Hopefully, fucking, they'll announce your upcoming fight, Gamebred, real soon.
Yeah, I told Dean. I text Dean, and I probably shouldn't say this because I text him like because we've known each other for a long time since before he made it big or I made it big. So I text him. I was like, I'm giving you 1 week after the Jorge fight. So I'm giving you 1 week after that tour, and I'm blowing your phone up next week, which is this week. So I need to start texting him now.
Yeah, well, that's good that you gave him a little time to decompress, dude, because that was a lot of work going into that event. Yeah, that was a heavy load.
Fucking great fight.
Yeah. Nate Diaz did you see today? Nate Diaz is suing Fanmio, the company that streamed it, suing them for $10 million because he said they didn't pay him the money that they owe him.
Oh shit. Well, he's making money left and right because wasn't he part promotional owner on that?
Yeah, both him and Jorge's promotion companies were supposedly part of putting it together, and then Fanmio wanted the rights to the fight. And I guess they offered him $10 million. I'm guessing they probably had to make a similar offer for Masvidal because I know Masvidal wouldn't sit on the side and go, "Oh, he's going to make 10 million and I'll make it 350,000." Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I wonder if Masvidal's having the same problem. I put an article out from TMZ because I was the first one to report it today. But yeah, the guy that runs the company told Nate that we can't pay it because the event didn't make the money that we wanted it to make.
Well, that's your fault.
Yeah, I'm saying,
I can say your fault. That's your problem.
Yeah, if you offered me $10 million and I got it in paper, guess what? You owe me $10 million fucking dollars.
Yeah.
You know, and but it lends the question, you know, where this guy at Fanmio is paying these fees out. Well, if he's going to pay these fees and it's under a state sanctioned athletic commission, I think they should have to show that they had this money before they can fucking hold their event, because, you know, the easy way to do it, or if you owe Nate 10, let's say you owed Jorge 8. So that's $18 million that you've committed to two guys. Well, then you should have to put that into an escrow account. And when the fight's over, it clears escrow and the fighters get paid. There should be no, you know, like I know in some states you have to have purses, like the state wants to see the purse and collect the purse ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know? So, and California is a strict state. So I just don't know, man. Fucking.
Yeah. But, if you're banking on making the 18 million off of the views plus some, and then that doesn't go through, that's, like I said, that's your problem. Like you should have had the money ahead of time before offering that kind of money.
Hold on a second.
I don't know. That's above my pay grade.
My first guest of the night just fucking messaged me. Curtis Blaydes was supposed to be on, and he goes, I thought it started at 7:15, brain fart. He goes, I just got home from my acupuncture appointment. So I just messaged him back, said, I'm still on if you want to come through. Let's see if he gets that message real quick.
Yeah. That'd be a big one.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to come on. He's been on my show before. I really wanted to talk to him, though, before this heavyweight title fight, you know, so but he's never missed. He's always been on time. So I knew if something had to get in the way, and, you know, he got it confused. He thought I meant 7:15 Mountain Time.
Yeah.
I meant 7:15 Eastern Time, 5:15 Mountain Time, because he told me he only had between 5 and 8. So I was trying to figure it out. So I got him on his first sketch. Oh, well, shit happens. So, you know, I don't even get mad at that stuff, man, because living a fighter's lifestyle and being a parent, which he is, like you are, having a full-time job, you know, and all the other stuff, sometimes you just get so up here that you forget about maybe doing an interview or, you know,
going to pick up your meals at the meal prep place. Sometimes you just, it's overwhelming. So,
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, especially probably at his level of where he's at, for sure.
Yeah, he's out in Colorado.
Yeah, he trains at what is it? Out there with
Elevation.
Elevation Fight Team. Because I
Yeah,
know
Justin Gaethje and all those guys.
Yeah, I got a good buddy out there. Feats, we call him Feats. Anthony. What's his last name right now? We play a lot of Call of Duty together. We've been playing with Justin Gaethje a little bit here recently.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Justin Gaethje's a fun dude.
Oh, man. Yeah. For sure.
You need to go play golf with Justin Gaethje.
Does he play golf?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, golf's so fun. We went to a good course over here, or it was in North Alabama, so it was like a 4-hour ride. But it's like really, really hilly, like 300 feet elevation drop and everything. So you had to adjust your irons, and it was fun.
Yeah, he's always busting Daniel Cormier's balls about fucking playing golf with him, fucking because DC thinks he's this great golf player, and fucking Gaethje calls him out on it all the fucking time. You see these little videos, like they post on their social media of the fucking back and forth chatter, and it's fucking hysterical because Gaethje just shreds him fucking verbally, and it's fucking fun.
Man, if I was at that level, I would be like trying to get on that. What's the one where Steph Curry was just on, and they do it every year? It's all the athletes that go out there and they play. Larry,
like Tom Brady's done it, and fucking
I would try to get on one of those. Not where it's one of the ones where it's just like 2v2, but because you'd have to be like a superstar to do that. Which he is that. But I would try to get on the one where like they're playing at Lake Tahoe. I can't remember exactly what tournament it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it right now. I'm trying to look it up if I could see if it's coming up on my phone.
It's at Lake Tahoe. I don't think it's the Capital One. That's the one that they did the 2-man scramble. But I would be trying to get on that because they just had longest drive, and Steph Curry hit like 330, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm still not getting the right fucking thing. I'm looking up now because now I gotta fucking know.
Yeah, he needs to try to get on that.
Yeah, it's fucking. I would definitely fucking love to get on that. Boom. Boom. Let me pull this up here again. Celebrity. Oh no. Yeah, that's right.
Celebrity golf tournament. Lake Tahoe. Type that in.
American Century Celebrity Golf Tournament. July 10th through the 24th.
Yeah,
that's the one you were just talking about.
Yeah,
Steph Curry makes a hole in one.
That's the old one where he made the hole in one. That was a couple of years ago or last year.
That's crazy.
He just did the long drive and hit like a 330. That was 330 in the air.
Really?
That's not even with the rollout. Yeah, the longest one was they had a bunch of like pitchers and baseball players, or not pitchers, but baseball players on there too. I can't remember who the longest one was. Maybe it was like Brock Bauer or some shit.
Yeah, you know how long he hit?
And it was 345 in the air.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Those are like Happy Gilmore numbers,
bro. It was crazy. I can hit 300. Like most of the time, I'm around like 290. I can hit 300 for sure. I do it a lot. But I'm not hit. That's not in the air. That's what they're rolling out. You know what I mean? I'm probably carrying 250, 260, 270 if I'm hitting 300.
Yeah, I think the furthest drive I ever hit was about 295, and that carried about 265 or 270. I got a nice bounce and a roll. That's probably the furthest, best shot I ever hit in my life, and it wasn't a regular base. I was probably a 225 yard, 240 yard, with most of that being 210 in the air when I used to play. I'm not a big, strong guy, obviously form. If my form was better, I'd probably get few more yards out of it, but my form wasn't great. I just went out there
hack, just to have fun. I wasn't trying to take it too serious.
I don't know if you watch a lot of golf, but like Bryson DeChambeau, man, that dude will hit his 9-iron like fucking 200 yards. I don't understand it. If you haven't watched, I mean, he won the U.S. Open not too long ago.
That pisses me off, man.
I thought you were a sports guy.
No, well, I am. What pisses me off is that fucking this guy's hitting a 9-iron, which is basically a goddamn pitching wedge, and he's hitting it further than I could drive.
Oh, I'm telling you, it is crazy. But he does like some weird. He's like, they call him like the mad scientist. He does all this shit where he's like, all of his clubs are the same length, so you don't have to adjust your length or adjust your stance or anything. And now I guess he's printing his own clubs with the, what do you call those printers?
3D
3D printer somehow. I don't understand it, but he's doing right because he's winning. Man,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. Fucking 200 yards with a fucking goddamn
9-iron.
9-iron.
It's crazy. And like they're like, I'm gonna land it right here and put a little backspin. Like it's crazy how good you have to be in the PGA, or I guess he's in Live now, but you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Maybe you need to take that up as your backup sport.
Oh, I promise you. I told my brother, I said I'm actually decently good at golf, and because I've been playing since I was my grandpa was a pro for his golf, and he was teaching me since I was about 8. He didn't let me start actually playing with him until I was 12. So until he died, I was learning from him. So I got pretty good. But I told my brother, I said, I'm just gonna fucking keep on at golf until after I retire, and then see if I can't make like the fucking seniors tour whenever I get there.
Go. All right, brother. Well, it's been great chatting with you. I appreciate you taking the time and hanging out with me tonight, man. Good conversation as always, man. I love you to death, man. I can't wait to see your next fight. Guys, Brandon Michael Davis, a.k.a. Killer B. He'll be fighting his next fight at Gamebred. We don't know his opponent yet. He does. And I think I have an idea of who it is. So I'm going to message him later and see if I'm right. But he can't tell you right now or he'll lose some money. So anyway, follow him on social media, Brandon Killer B. He's all over it, man. And if you want a fun fighter that you haven't been watching, this is the guy, man. Appreciate you, B.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on.
Always, brother. Be good. Boys and girls, he was supposed to be my first guest tonight, but we got things confused. Mountain Time, Pacific Time, Central Time. So it's okay because I love this guy. He's been on the show before. He's never shined me out. And here he is, a little late, but better late than never. My man, the one and only Curtis Razor Blaydes. What's up, baby?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, brother. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it, man. I was so sad when I opened up the show. I was like, oh, man, we probably got the Mountain and Pacific Time confused. It happens.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. That's on me, though.
That's okay, man. I'm not even worried about it, bro. Life happens. Shit happens. You know, I don't get upset with fighters when that happens, man, because you guys live a crazy lifestyle in the first place. So, you know, who knows what's coming up any second of the day, you know? So, first thing I want to ask you about isn't about your fight. How's your little girl, man?
She's all right. She's with her mom in Texas right now.
That's cool. She's a beautiful little kid, man. I haven't seen you post up a lot of pictures recently. I was like, he's keeping her a secret from us now because you used to post up little videos and everything. I was like, oh man. So hopefully we'll see some of that again because she's a beautiful little girl, man. Oh, of course, man. So, you got this big fight coming up, Tom Aspinall. It's a rematch. You know, we fought him once, or you fought him once before. He got injured. You got the win. Even though there wasn't much film for us to watch in that fight to, you know, really make an assessment, I actually felt you were winning the fight before he got injured. So you already know I'm Team Curtis Blaydes. I mean, I don't hide it. I'm not shy about it, man. I'm not supposed to be like that in the media, but there's just a few guys out there that I really love. So I felt you were winning. I feel you're going to win this fight. He seems to be a little dismissive of you. Does that bother you?
No, I don't have time for any of the extra like the nonsense of like face-offs and smack talk, and none of that matters. Once we get in the octagon, that's the only thing that matters. I haven't watched any of his interviews, any of his. I know I've been hearing from a lot of people he's posting a lot of his workouts. People are like, "Oh, are you watching?" No, I don't care about anything he's doing. I'm focused on me.
Which is the best way to be in a fight, right? I mean, if you're focused on somebody else, you might miss something that you need to have in yourself.
Yeah, that's just the philosophy I've been using my whole UFC run, and it's worked out. It got me here. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, amen to that. Like I said, it's really strange that a lot of people, um, they're they don't they don't give you, in my opinion, sometimes from the media as well, but sometimes fans, they don't give you enough respect for your power. And I think you've got 13 or 14 knockouts in the UFC, if I'm correct, right?
Something like that. I know I've got enough. I've got
Yeah.
enough.
I mean, like your last fight against Jalton Almeida, it was a little strange. He was working around with you, and it was a very competitive fight. And then you just do what Curtis does: gets on top, drops the hammer fist, and lights out. And I don't think people respected you going into that fight. Like, I just get pissed off that people don't show you the respect that you've earned inside the octagon. Does that bother you that you don't get the respect you feel that you've earned from fans and media?
It used to, but I realized like all that me being annoyed about how outside people view me and if they respect me or all that other stuff, it doesn't help me. It just causes frustration and stress that I don't need. The life of a fighter is already stressful. I don't need to add any extra. So I stopped worrying about other people's opinions around after the Derek Lewis fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at your MMA record, you're 18-4. You've only lost to top guys in the world. You haven't lost to like slouches, and and there's no shame in like getting knocked out by Derek Lewis, because everybody got knocked out by Derek Lewis.
It's heavyweight, man.
He's a big heavyweight, a big boy. Even losing to Sergey isn't a bad loss, because again, you guys are so big and powerful. It only takes one. And I don't care how big and strong you are. You get clipped. Obviously, you get clipped with the right punch in the right spot. Lights go out. It's just part of the risk that the heavyweight fighter takes. All fighters take the risk, but the heavyweight fighters, I think,
especially.
Yeah, heavyweights especially. Because you don't have a lot of film yourself to go off of the Aspinall fight from your last encounter, do you do anything differently in your preparation for this one?
No, like I said earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think the way we prepared the first time was great. I felt great. My conditioning, I was ready to go 5 rounds, although it didn't happen. But yeah, everything we did for that camp. I do all my camps the same, pretty much, except for like Almeida. That was a different one because he's just a jiu-jitsu guy. So we put a lot more emphasis in jiu-jitsu. But everyone else, usually it's the same stuff. Working on me, my footwork, my conditioning, just hoping to get a little better every day.
And I think that's really all you can do. If you have a good program in place and it's gotten you to where you got to, you make the little adjustments you need to as you evolve, but you don't change the core.
No, there's unless you're not having a success that you think you should be having, that's when you evaluate and adjust. But I don't think there's a need for any adjustments. All my losses, they were because I made a mental mistake. It wasn't the preparation. I think the preparation's always been amazing.
Yeah, like you said, it's a little mistake, getting caught, again by Derek Lewis punch. It's one of those things. It happens to so many people. 21 other people have fallen the same victim. So it's not even something to get mad at. The risk going in. You've been very vocal. Like I think I saw you on Ariel's show a little while back, talking about the winner of this fight between you and Tom is really the heavyweight champion. There is no interim on this in your mind. Yes.
Yeah, I still believe that.
Yeah, it's one of those really strange situations for all the parties involved. And now that you're involved because you're fighting for this interim belt, Jones and Stipe are supposed to fight in November. We don't know if that's actually even going to happen yet because it hasn't been officially announced. But I'm a huge Jones fan, have been my whole life. But I don't think he's going to defend if he wins.
No,
I just don't.
I don't either. There isn't really a need. I could see him angling for Alex Pereira over.
I could see that.
Or myself.
I could definitely see that because, and it's no disrespect to you or Aspinall, but Pereira has made such an incredible name for himself on this meteoric ride. It's hard to deny that.
No.
So I get that.
He's got the juice right now.
He really does.
He's been on a great run, and after the last one, like the stars the limit. I mean, the sky's the limit. So yeah, I could totally see him versus Jones as opposed to Jones versus Aspinall or me.
Yeah, I agree with you. But you know what? We've talked about stuff like this before, where you understood why the UFC made certain moves. You've never been one to show anger about getting passed by because of something like this. This wouldn't even piss you off. You'd fucking probably sit in the front row and watch the spectacle.
Oh yeah, no, I'll be there. I'd definitely watch
it. But let's say, conversation-wise, Jones decides that he's going to try to unify the belt before he walks away. You beat Aspinall, so now it's you and Jones. And I know Jones is a really great wrestler, both offensively and defensively, but he's not. I guess now we could say he's built himself up to a heavyweight, but he's not a natural big heavyweight like you. You cut to get to 265. He don't even come in at 265. I said it earlier before you came on, and I've always felt this way, and it's not to kiss your ass or anything, but I think you're the best fundamental big man wrestler in the UFC heavyweight division, bar none. I don't care who's there. I think the only guy that I would have said maybe a little bit more fundamentally sound at some point would have been Daniel Cormier with his Olympic pedigree.
Yeah.
But I still think you would have ragdolled him around because you're still bigger than him naturally. I don't think Jones, if I'm Jones, I want Almeida to beat you. I mean, Aspinall to beat you. Sorry about that. I want Aspinall to beat you because I don't want to fight Curtis Blaydes. I think you're the most dangerous person in John Jones' way if he stays. And again, that's not to kiss your butt, just based on your wrestling acumen and your pedigree. And he's never faced again, he fought DC, but DC didn't really try to wrestle him really. But you will take him down. There is no doubt in my mind that Curtis Blaydes will put John Jones on his ass. Keeping him there, I think you totally could do as well.
Yeah, he's always had the reach advantage. He's always had just this aura. But I think that aura went away around when he fought Thiago, and I thought he lost that fight. And then he fought Anthony before or after Thiago. But regardless, he also fought Anthony, and he beats him, but it was a lot harder than it was supposed to be. And then he fights Dom Reyes. Thought he lost that fight also. So just that aura is gone, I think. And I believe, like you said, I know I could get the takedown, and I know he's not used to having like a legitimate heavyweight on him, and I hit hard, like you said. I also have underrated power. I do believe I would be a tough matchup for John.
Yeah, I don't I don't think there's another heavyweight in the UFC right now that stylistically causes more problems for Jones than you. Other guys cause different problems. Like Cyril Gane, is this great striker, but Cyril Gane got negated. I mean, just completely. And I get a little aggravated with Dana White when they talk. Dana White, a couple of press conferences, talked about how John Jones is the pound for pound the greatest of all time, and number one pound for pound. He's like, look, he fought the best heavyweight in the world to win the title, Cyril Gane. Even if he had an interim title or a title, he was not the best heavyweight in the world. He was maybe the luckiest heavyweight opportunist in the world, but he wasn't the best heavyweight in the world. And I'm not saying that to shit on John Jones, because again, I've been made it clear for years I'm a John Jones fan. He fought the guy they put in front of him, and he did the job. So God bless him, good for him. But now people are talking that the November fight might be in jeopardy because of this court case.
Yeah, I just heard about that.
Yeah, he's got, but it's misdemeanor charges. I can't see them putting him in jail.
No, he probably won't go to jail. But I don't know how that affects your MMA, your license. I know they always ask that, like when you're doing your MMA license, they always ask you about arrest and things. I don't really look at it because I don't have any issues like that. But I think it might be an issue depending on the state.
Well, I look at it this way. He fought Cyril Gane a couple years ago. He's already got all kinds of criminal issues on his record, and he got to fight then. So I don't think a misdemeanor charge is going to stop the UFC from putting him on a card in November in New York City, if that's where it goes down, because that's what everybody's saying. But we haven't heard from the promotion yet. We brought up Pereira. Isn't it crazy to see what this guy's done in such a short amount of time? I mean, two-way champion, 5 fights against champions or former champions and wins. The guy really, he's like you said, he's on a run.
Yeah. I mean, with the power that he possesses, and then with the stature he has, I find it hard to believe that he was ever middleweight, because he's huge. I don't know how he ever. And I think that also adds, I know we're not discussing Izzy, but I think it also adds to Izzy's legacy, the fact that he was able to knock him out. Like, that dude's a beast, and Izzy was able to put him down. I think that just adds to his legacy.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, because you look at Izzy, and Izzy's a big guy, but he just doesn't have the same frame as Pereira. And, it was shocking to me that he was able, looking at Pereira now, it's shocking to me that Israel knocked him out. It's like
impressive. But
very impressive.
Alex, he is in the Hall of Fame already. That's not even a discussion.
Oh, Alex Pereira? He'll go in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it. I mean, to do what he's done in such a short time, that's a Hall of Fame. It's like his career is going to be short like Bo Jackson was in football. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's going to accomplish a lot in a short period of time, and he's going to walk away, because Pereira's made clear he wants the heavyweight title, and he wants to chase that history, and he knows, he goes, look, I'm 37 years old. My time is short. I want all the most incredible things I could do, and I want them now. And nothing but respect. I know Conor McGregor's been the guy, but right now, nobody can touch Alex Pereira. I don't even think Conor can outsell. No. Maybe. Well, Conor might.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
If he ever comes back.
Who knows? Yeah.
So, other than your fight coming up, is there a fight out there that's on the horizon, that's a booked, confirmed fight that you're looking forward to?
My teammate Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah.
He fights the week after me against that Umar
Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, you say it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, because I know
I forgot about that. That's going to be a really good fight.
The winner of that, the stakes are big. Probably get title shot. Hopefully, I think if Sandhagen's able to get the finish, he definitely deserves a title shot.
Yeah, well, right now, Marab should be next for the title in that weight class with Sean O'Malley. That's rumored to be headlining the Sphere. Who knows if it's really going to happen? I mean,
hope it does.
that fight's going to happen. I just don't know if it's going to headline the Sphere because that's supposed to be the Mexican Independence Day card. But they put so much.
One of them,
but they put so much money into it, and Sean O'Malley's a big star, so. Putting him at the top of the card, I understand. I personally want to be Alexa Grasso and Valentina for the women's title because Alexa's Mexican. I mean, but apparently Valentina doesn't want to fight on Mexican Independence Day at a Mexican themed event. That's what I'm hearing rumors now. So it shocks me because Valentina's such a warrior. So I can't imagine her getting sandy about this, but maybe.
Sure, she has her reasons then.
All right, and I'm going to get a question from the crowd here. Curtis, why haven't you gone on the Ariel Helwani show and tell him to get off Tom Aspinall's nuts?
Because, like you said earlier, I don't allow that stuff to annoy me anymore. I get it. Like, if I had an accent, if I had a German accent or an Australian accent, I would be getting all the love that. Well, Aspinall's earned it, but it's easier also because he has a British accent.
Yeah,
and I get it.
Sells.
Yeah,
and to address that, Forrest, because Curtis has been on Ariel's show before, and Ariel's always treated Curtis with respect. Ariel's just, I'm sure Ariel.
I got no beef with Ariel. No.
Yeah, man, why you crying to cause beef, Forrest? Well, listen, my man, I appreciate you taking the time out to join us today.
No worries.
And no worries about the confusion on the time thing. I don't care that it happened. As long as we got to chat, that was really what was important to me. I'm looking forward to this big fight for you coming up, boys and girls. This is Curtis Razor Blaydes. I don't know where he officially sits in the rankings, but since he's fighting for this interim title, he's the number one contender in the heavyweight division as far as I am concerned. He's taking on Tom Aspinall in a rematch coming up July 27th. So when do you leave for England?
21st.
So you're going to go out just 6 days ahead of time? Is that enough time?
Yeah, because we're going to be on American time. So while we're over there, we're going to be awake at night, asleep during the day.
Oh, because you're going to fight on the American time, Eastern time zone. So 10 o'clock at night here is going to be
like 4 a.m.
4 a.m., yeah. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 or 4 a.m. So, yeah, so you're going to stay on your basic schedule.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. But that makes it a little easier for having to travel overseas. By the way, Forrest also just said, Curtis having a beer with Tom after their first fight was so awesome.
That wasn't even my idea. That was my dad's idea. He was just in a great mood. I guess he bumped into Aspinall's father in the lobby, and they was like, "Yeah, they should have a beer." And my dad came and told me that. Originally, I was like, "No," but he made me do it. I don't regret doing it now.
Yeah, why not, man? It's one of those cool moments. And the last thing I have for you, after you become the heavyweight champion of the world, and you get your first defense out, I want, for all my years of support, I want you to one time fly me out and let me corner you in a fight.
You have to speak with my coaches. They get real particular about that. I wanted to have my brother in one. It was a discussion, and I dropped it. I was like, all right, whatever. So
I just want to walk out with you. I don't even got a corner. I just want to walk out, and then I'll go back to the corner and fucking hide in the fucking back room and watch the fight on TV.
We might be able to make that happen. When you got the belt, you do what you want to do.
That's true. So that's why I waited all this time to ask you to do that to you. I knew you had the belt and coming in. So now that the belt is coming, fucking let's make it happen. Well, listen, bro. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you got a lot on your plate. Biggest fight of your life coming up right now. So congratulations first just on getting it. And you already know I'm in your corner. I'm picking you to win. For all you guys that are picking against him, that's from me. It's not from Curtis. That's from me.
Especially
so don't get fucked up. But anyway, so July 27th, it's UFC 304 in England. Curtis Blaydes taking on Tom Aspinall for what they're calling the interim belt. Me and Curtis believe it's the actual belt because we don't think Jones is going to defend against the winner anyway. But that's it, boys and girls. Thank you for being a part of the show, Curtis. We'll see you next time, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate you waiting for me.
Oh, no worries. God bless and safe travels, man.
Thank you. You have a good
Peace.
night, man.
You too, brother. Boys and girls, that was Curtis Razor Blaydes. We came in a little later than you're supposed to open the show. He closed the show instead, just like he's going to do when he fights Tom Aspinall. I'm totally taking him. I think he's going to fucking do his thing. But anyway, I'd like to thank all my guests tonight, Elvin Brito, Brandon Michael Davis, and Curtis Razor Blaydes for taking the time to join us on the show and to chat with me, and you guys get to jump in on the conversation. Hope you all had a good time. I'll be announcing my guests for next week's show in a day or two on my pages. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to Fight Bananas, 1 o'clock. Dave Van Auken and the crew, L. Dawson and Maddie Levine. And that's it. You can see on the screen down there. Don't forget Island Fights, August 9th in Pensacola. July 28th, I'm hosting Mad Assassin Jiu-Jitsu tournament here in Riverview, Florida. $10,000 first prize. ADCC rules in effect. 32-man absolute. It's going to be a good time. I've never hosted a BJJ tournament before, so I'm going to have fun with it. Anyway, thanks for being a part of my life and for allowing me to be a part of yours for just a few minutes of the day. I really appreciate it. Until next time, boys and girls, I am Christopher James, and we are out of here. Good night, everybody.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell's Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuit. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Philip the Deuces. There you go, baby.